Jay-Z attorney, Alex Sparrow, man, he's going all the way in on this case right here, man. Tupac Shakur family have hired lawyers to investigate Diddy possible connection in the 96 murder, his involvement in the death of Tupac. Now, Jay-Z, lawyer, picked this case up. Alex Sparrow picked this case up. It's saying Tupac Shakur family is continuing their search for answers about what happened to late rapper. U.S. Weekly can confirm Shakur family have hired attorneys Alex Sparrow to investigate Sean Diddy Combs' possible connection to Magician 96 murders. Now, Alex Sparrow recently represent, Alex Baldwin in a higher publicized Russ case in July. An involuntary manslaughter case against the actor was dismissed by a judge after ruling that prosecution hide evidence. In September 96, Shakur was gunned down in a drive-by shooting near Las Vegas, although his murder remains unsolved. Las Vegas police arrest suspect Cleve David in September, so he was arrested in the connection to Tupac's murder. So court documents states that Mr. Davis had 180 transcripts, documents, and you're going to be shocked in hearing what he's saying about Diddy here. Diddy was the mastermind, and he stated that he hired 3 Southside Chicago Crips to take Tupac, stating the court documents. Now, Mr. Davis held on the connection of Pac's murder during a press conference. Police says Davis, 61, was not the gunman, but described as the shot caller. A grand jury voted to indict Davis on 1 count of murder for a deadly weapon. He pleaded not guilty, expected to stand trial in March 2005, according to court documents. Wow. In these documents, Mr. Davis says that Diddy was the mastermind. As we see that there was 47, those 47 accusations that was made, that in a statement that Mr. Davis said Diddy mastermind to hire hitmans, that he's willing to pay over millions of dollars to hire a hitman to take Biggie and Pop. So it says, according to the court documents obtained by a New Nation, Mr. Dave previously claimed that Diddy 54 offered up $1 million for the hip hop legend murder. So it says, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, however, previously told People that Diddy had never been considered a suspect in the Tupac Shakur homicide investigation. He also had never been charged in a connection to the murder. This story is beyond ridiculous and completely false. Diddy told a hip hop com in 2008, neither Biggie, the late Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace, nor have any knowledge of any attack before, during, or after it happens. It's complete a lie to subject that there was any involvement by Biggie, myself. Biddy, Diddy up and down over the years of indictment, home raid, and more. Just want you to see the pictures that is you know, it's strange to see, you know, that these artists is, you know, die, and now, you know, Diddy said he didn't have no involvement. But you guys, this is, you know, Diddy and his involvement, man, that he has, man. And, you know, like I said, man, Tony Buzzy scored big. Now you got Alex, you know, Jay-Z's team. Sparrow is investigating this as, you know, Tupac family is hiring a lawyer to take this case. So, like I said, you got Mr. Davis is saying that yes, man, Diddy was a mastermind. Diddy hired a hitman. Diddy was willing to pay $100 million to get this job done, according to court documents. So it's saying here, Diddy abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him. The indictment stated some of the instances which the indictment claimed he was carrying out to fulfill his sexual desires and his reputation and conceal his conduct date back in 2009. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. So now let's get into it. We got a lot to discover. Both teams, Tony Buzzy and Jay-Z's team, Alex Sparrow, they scored big. Now, it makes sense. It makes sense that why Jay-Z's legal team is taking this case. And that Jay-Z, he didn't want to have no parts of Diddy and his involvement. So it kind of makes sense. Okay, let's see what this is.
Big developments in the case of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the man accused of orchestrating the murder of rap icon Tupac Shakur back in the 1990s. All these years later, the former gang leader is behind bars in Las Vegas and is insisting the case be thrown out. And he is implicating another music legend who's making headlines, Sean Diddy Combs. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis is said to be behind one of the most infamous killings in history. Tupac Shakur, the 90s rap superstar, was gunned down while riding in a car with Suge Knight after the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand. And over the years, there have been multiple investigations into Tupac Shakur's murder, but there has been one man who has seemed to implicate himself in the assassination again and again and again. Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D. By the way, spelled sometimes with two F's, sometimes with two E's, even sometimes with a Y. Gets a little bit confusing, but Keefe D. Now, Davis was reportedly the leader of a sect of the Crips street gang in Compton, California that dealt in drug sales and trafficking. Davis eventually did time in prison on drug charges in the late 90s, but since getting out, he has been more open about his apparent involvement in Shakur's death. Davis released his own tell-all book. It's called Compton Street Legend, Notorious.
So it says here, Tupac Shakur family hired team to investigate potential link to Diddy. Now it says Shakur was 25 years old when he was shot and killed while driving Las Vegas in September 96. It says now the family is looking for closure and they hire Alex Spiro to investigate this, to look into this. So we got Keith Davis is held in custody in a connection of Tupac's death, and now Tupac brother breakout science of Diddy involvement here. So we got more developing stories that Tupac Shakur's stepbrother is finally speaking out, and he's not entirely convinced by Diddy Combs' denial of involvement in Tupac's murder a year ago. Doing an appropriate pioneer, Morgan, uncensored, shared his doubts, saying he doesn't believe Diddy was 100% honest when he denied any part in the 96 drive-by shooting. It says this come after Shakur family reportedly hired a high-profile attorney, Alex Spiro, to investigate Diddy involvement in rapper's death after the music of the artist was arrested. Now, Pop brothers spoke and think Diddy was not honest about Tupac's murder. It said days after a crime scene investigator revealed suspicion to page 6 about Sean Combs' potential involvement in Tupac's Shakur murder. Tupac's stepbrothers Shakur appears in a Pioneer Morgan show. A further member of the rap gang, Thug Life, alongside his little brother, was questioned about the theory that the magician played a part in his brother's death. So it also says Morgan mentioned that 2008, Sean Combs personally called Shakur to deny any involvement in Tupac's death. This followed a controversial LA Times article claiming Combs' associate was involved in a 94 shooting that injured Tupac but left him bleeding. However, the article was later in the LA Times, as they believe there was inaccuracies in this report. It says, it's in my opinion is that it wasn't 100% honest statement told by Morgan. According to TMZ, reacting to Diddy claimed that neither he nor Notorious B.I.G. have any knowledge of any attack on Tupac. He adds, so again, we got to find out what's true and what's false and what's real and what's fake. Now, keep in mind, man, Jay-Z legal team, Alex Spiro, is taking this case, man. You know, and it's like I said, man, Tony Buzzy, he scored big in hiring 2 lawyers, man, to take on this case with Jay-Z and Alex, you know what I mean, Spiro. So, you know, I feel at some points, you know, Alex Spiro gonna lose this case with Jay-Z because, man, Jay-Z don't go in his pockets, man, to hire some two attorneys to get some high attorneys because, man, I'm telling you, man, when it comes to Buzzy and his law firm, man, he paid some high money on this case, man, and it's not looking good on Jay-Z end. But maybe you know what I mean. It's a reason why Tony Buzzy is taking this case with Diddy, man, and the Tupac 96 death, man. And I think that now it makes sense that he's taking this case, man, because he can win. He's 100%. He can win in this case because with all these allegations that's now coming to the light, this guy here on the screen, he's involved in connection to Diddy, but he was not the gunman. He was not the gunman. So we're gonna hear what the state says here, man, about Mr. Davis and his involvement with the 96 connection of Pop's murder. So we're gonna roll this tape here. I hope y'all enjoyed the live. Share the live, man. We always keep it real here, so let's go.
Keefe D's street-level accounts of Tupac and Biggie murders, death row origins, Suge Knight, Puffy Combs, and crooked cops. And he started granting interviews with YouTubers who wanted the inside scoop on what happened on that night back in 1996 out in Las Vegas. So Davis and several members of his entourage apparently attended the Mike Tyson boxing fight. But afterward, in the casino, Shakur had attacked Davis's nephew, Orlando Anderson. The fight had apparently been sparked by a previous beef over an alleged stolen neck chain. So the men eventually separated, the two groups went on their way, but Anderson, Davis, and others that were with them were reportedly still pretty heated over what had just happened. And later that night, allegedly, their plan was to target Shakur and Knight. And Knight, of course, was the head of Death Row Records, as they were all stopped at a traffic light. This is what happened.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief. Getting started is easy, and
Now, in an interview with the Art of Dialogue channel, Davis said he was in the front passenger seat that night with DeAndre Big Dre Smith and Anderson in the back seat of the rented Cadillac. And what happens next? Who fired the shots? Take a listen.
Dre, he was the one that was supposed to.
You know, we gotta know Orlando Anderson was one of the gunmen, man. Because Orlando Anderson was he was Southside Crip, man. And you know when Orlando Anderson, when they know that he was a gunman, man, when he went back home, he was murdered right off the scene. You know, so all these people play the role. They know that, Diddy was the shot call. You know what I mean? He was the shot caller, man. He called the shots. He paid and was willing to pay millions of dollars to find a hitman, man. And this is what happened, man. It says why the Pop family is investigating Diddy's connection. Because everybody's seen a lot of suspicion on Diddy, man. When Pop went down, everybody's seen a lot of suspicion. When Charleston, Charmaine, I take that back. But Charmaine, it was in the Hot 97 investigate Diddy of his involvement, and knows that his whole face expression changed when he was asked. So it says when it comes to Tupac Shakur, stepbrother says on the reopened rapper murder case is not about Diddy significantly. The late Tupac Shakur stepbrother Shakur explained why the family is now looking into Sean Diddy Combs' possible involvement in Tupac's murder. The family is pursuing an investigation into my brother's death. Wherever the investigation leads, that where its lead says during a Friday, October 11, appearance on Morgan show is not about Diddy significantly. It's about justice for my brother. He continued the ongoing mystery for 27 years with the arrest in Vegas. Last year, there was a break opportunity to get closer to the truth. This is ongoing business for us. My family pursued investigation soon after his murder, of which nothing came of it. So we was left with no answer for 27 years, man. Tupac was killed following a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in September 96. A suspect, Keefe D. Davis, arrested September 20th, 2023. The police have said that he was not the gunman, and the murder remains unsolved, according to a police press conference. Mr. David was described as the shot caller. David pleaded not guilty on account of murder with a deadly weapon and expected to stand trial in March 2025. More of these are going to come out. I believe Miss Davis was not the shot caller. Diddy was the shot caller. You know what I mean? You see, Diddy was willing because you got to remember, Diddy, you know what I mean? You talking to a rap magician, man, that was the head of everything, man. He had money to, you know what I mean, to get people killed if he wanted to. So Diddy was willing to offer millions of dollars to put a hitman to you know what I mean, killed Tupac. So it says here, as far as the hip hop rap world goes, Tupac, my brother, was king of the hill, top dog, king of rap, and with come a lot of envy and jealousy, all types of things that comes. He said on Friday, all I can make of it is there was groups of people, he says, who was jealous and envious and full of hate. That's what it is in the world, man. We don't want to see our own black people come up, man. It's envy, jealousy, greed, hate in this industry, man. See, when the love of money is rule all evil, and some people are eager for it, and they're willing to do whatever it takes, right? Sometimes even if it takes killing your own people, you do just that. So it says, aside from Davis, no suspect had been confirmed or charged with a crime. Our service have long tried to connect Diddy, 54, to a murder, but now it's disgraced. Music has vehemently denied any involvement. Diddy has not been charged in a connection to Tupac death. This story beyond is crazy and completely false, Diddy said. In a 2008 statement, neither Biggie nor Notorious B.I.G., aka Christopher Wallace, nor have any knowledge or any attack before, during, or after it happened. It is a complete lie to subject that there was any involvement by Diddy or myself. Could Diddy be covering this up, man? Because it makes sense now, fam. That while all this is coming, and that Alice Sparrow is taking this case now, you know, and you know, there's a lot going on right now, fam, and within the last 24 hours, man, that Tony Buzzy had 2 new lawyers in the case of Jay-Z, and you know, and these new lawyers was representative of Donald Trump's case in 2001, man. Ever since, you know what I mean, they represent Trump in 2001. So, you know, we know that there was some motions denied regarding stations from Alice Sparrow and extortion. This is regarding the case with Jay-Z, because he's representing Jay-Z and his sexual case. So Tony Buzzy hired powerful house lawyers. Then we got Alice Sparrow is taking this case regarding the connection that Diddy had, his involvement in the 96 death of Tupac Shakur. So I'm gonna roll this video. I hope you guys join live, man. Share this live.
Shoot, you know, Tupac and Suge, but he got scared, right?
No, he didn't really get scared. You know, he wasn't ready for that. They was youngsters, man, kids.
But once again, I mean, y'all Crips, right? So he should be used to that, right, Dre? So why was
he wasn't ready for that? Everybody got a role, man. Everybody ain't killers. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna kill.
So
everybody
Dre,
ain't with that.
Shooter?
No.
Okay, so but he was the one that was supposed to shoot up Tupac and Suge, but for some reason he wasn't ready for it, so he gave the gun to Orlando, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And Orlando is the shooter. He's the known shooter. I mean, everybody knows.
See, I told y'all. He put see what Keith did, what he just did right there, man. He not knowing he's incriminating himself, man. You know what I mean? He said he was the shot caller, but the real trigger man, we all know, was Orlando Anderson, you know what I mean, a member of the Southside Crip. Notice when he shot two, because you gotta understand, it all makes sense, y'all, that notice that Orlando Anderson and Tupac had a shovel. You know what I mean? And Orlando Anderson, you know, the whole thing of it is, man, you know, Notorious B.I.G. was in Vegas because Orlando Anderson went over to his hotel and got the Glock 45. So yes, it shows that Big was in it. And you know what Diddy did? Diddy's like, well, you know what I mean? I need to take out, you know what I mean? If I take out two birds in one stone, then look, and that's what Diddy did, man. You know what I mean? So we know Big, he had some kind of involvement, but you see, Diddy had some involvement where he was willing to send a shot caller. He had the money to send shot callers. You know what I mean? To get at Tupac. He was able to send the shot callers. And like I said, Lando Anderson was the trigger man. A member of the Southside Crips. So let's hear what he's saying here, man.
Orlando Anderson was a shooter. So Dre got cold feet. He didn't want to do it. He gave the gun to Orlando, and Orlando shot Tupac and Sugar.
Yeah, he did his thing, yeah.
Now, let's be clear about something. Anderson has always denied that he was the killer. In fact, he died just a few years after Shakur in another shooting. The other men in the Cadillac, DeAndre Smith and the driver, Terry Brown, they are also both dead. But Davis told a lot of this information to Los Angeles and Las Vegas investigators as well. And this is after he apparently became a confidential informant for a task force that was looking into the murder of Christopher Wallace, also known as Biggie Smalls and the notorious B.I.G. By the way, we're about to talk about Diddy. We did a whole separate sidebar episode on how Sean Combs' former bodyguard came out recently, spoke on a documentary, and saying that Sean Combs could have been involved in the murder of Christopher Wallace. Encourage everybody to check it out if you're interested. But then going back to Tupac, we go to September of 2023, so this is 27 years after Shakur's death. And Davis was arrested near his home outside of Las Vegas and taken into custody. And since then, after he's been charged with the murder of Tupac Shakur, he and his legal team have been working to get him out of jail and to get his case thrown out. Now, we can say definitively he has lost both of those battles. He has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. He's supposed to go to trial in March, but I want to explain a little bit more about this. So earlier this month, Davis's defense team filed a motion to dismiss the case. And as part of his argument, he is pointing the finger, seemingly, at Sean Diddy Combs as the one who really is responsible for Shakur's death. Yeah, this is one of those stories that we've been constantly trying to keep an eye out for, bring you updates as they develop. And for that, I gotta call out our amazing sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, because their support helps us to keep on doing this. But here's the deal. If you're injured, Morgan & Morgan, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Law and Crime, America's largest injury law firm, that may be who you want in your corner. You know why they have over $1 million verdict for a car act worth millions of dollars? Why not start a claim and fight? Welcome to Palo Verde, a laid-back community of new homes in Hesperia, California. Select from 4 home designs. Now, at the time of Shakur's death, Combs was beginning his meteoric rise to the top of the rap world. He had started Bad Boy Records, now called Bad Boy Entertainment. And of course, there was this ongoing feud, West Coast versus East Coast, with this feud that he had with Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight, again, the leader of Death Row. So I want to take a look at the legal arguments that Davis's team had in their filing. And it reads, Defendant Dwayne Keith Davis hereby files this motion to dismiss on the basis that the state of Nevada has failed to timely pursue these charges against Mr. Davis, failed to provide corroborating evidence to support Mr. Davis's coerced confession, and failed to honor the federal proffer agreement between Mr. Davis and the United States government, thus substantially impairing Mr. Davis's constitutional rights. So 2 big arguments here. One is that the government waited too long to file the murder case, 27 years. They claim that this was done maliciously. By the way, though, typically speaking, there are no statute of limitations for murder. But even if they had filed the charges sooner, this is Davis's other argument, Davis says he's immune from prosecution thanks to an agreement he had with investigators when he was hauled in to talk about Tupac Shakur's shooting.
Let me tell you something. It's all making sense. It's getting out, man. Miss Davis says, how can you just accuse me and the pop, death? When it happened 27 years ago, he wasn't a gunman. You know what I mean? He was a shot caller. But he's saying, he dragged Diddy into it because Diddy was the mastermind. Diddy had the money to send out the hit. It makes sense now. It makes sense. Diddy's role and his involvement was that he had the money to set out the hit. You know, it makes sense when you got millions of dollars and you can send a hit. You know what I mean? It shows in court documents that it was 3 members of the Southside Crips, and that Diddy, you know what I mean? Diddy hired a hitman. He's willing to pay out millions of dollars for a hitman. Now, you know, I find it like, you know, when it comes, it makes sense because when it comes to Jay-Z don't want to have no involvement with Diddy and his involvements. It makes sense, you know, and then now you got, you know what I mean, Alex Sparrow is really digging in this case for the family of, you know what I mean, Tupac Shakur. You know, so it makes sense now. You know, but you know, Diddy got a hold that he got to climb now, because now not just he got this on his shoulder, but he's dealing with this RICO, and you know what I mean. And now that this coming out, so it's really interesting to see how all this going to play out. You know, like I said, Tony Buzzy just hired two new powerhouse lawyers, and you know, and when it comes to sanctions and it comes to Buzzy and his law firm was being threatened in regarding extortion, so it's looking good on his part, and you have to say it's looking good when it comes to Alex Sparrow, that he picked up the case. You know what I mean? He picked this case with Diddy and the connection of involvement of Pop's murder. So it's looking good on both parties. So let's go on and roll this clip here and see what he have to say here, man. Because this is really looking serious right now. It's getting serious.
And listen, remember, Bill Cosby, we all remember what happened to him. His conviction for drugging and raping a woman was vacated because his due process rights were violated, since a former DA had in fact made an oral promise to Cosby that he wouldn't be prosecuted. And remember, Cosby relied on that promise to admit some incriminating things about that encounter. So a high court actually determined his conviction should be thrown out. But going back to this, the first big interview that was referenced in the filing is from a couple of years after Tupac Shakur died. On July 16th, 1998, Mr. Davis was interviewed by Assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell. Mr. Davis's attorney, Mr. Eddie Fayol, was present. The interview was considered a proffer agreement between the United States government and Mr. Davis, under which any information provided by Mr. Davis would not be prosecuted related to that information. Mr. Davis was repeatedly questioned about the alleged murder of Tupac Shakur. Mr. Davis denied knowing who shot Mr. Shakur. Mr. Davis was asked to speculate as to who shot Mr. Shakur. Mr. Davis stated it was the Compton Police Department under the direction of Suge Knight, owner of Death Row Records. Mr. Davis was asked what would be Mr. Knight's motive, and Mr. Davis responded Mr. Shakur was getting ready to leave working with Death Row Records. At no time during the interview, less than 2 years after Mr. Shakur's shooting, did Mr. Davis state that he or members of Southside Crips were involved in any manner with the shooting of Mr. Shakur. Okay, goes to an issue of credibility. Well, Davis says he was interviewed again in 1999, and during that meeting, he denied that his nephew Anderson was the shooter. Mr. Davis stated that Mr. Anderson was not involved in the shooting of Mr. Shakur. Mr. Davis did discuss that Mr. Anderson was attacked by Mr. Shakur in Las Vegas the night of Mr. Shakur's shooting. Nevertheless, the decision was made to retaliate in Compton since there were so many police around in Las Vegas during the Mike Tyson fight. And during that interview, Davis blamed Compton police for spreading the rumor that Anderson had shot Shakur, although later we know that Davis himself would say that in public statements. But the motion to dismiss also says that Davis was offered immunity during the big...
They all know who shot Tupac, man. because it says on September 7th, right, 96 at 11:15, Tupac, a 25-year-old American rapper, was shot in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada. The shooting occurred when the car carrier Shakur was stopped at a red light at East Flamingo Road and Colville Lane. The driver, Marlon Suge Knight, was grazed by a bullet in a shooting. Shakur died from his injuries 6 days later on September 13, 1996. It says Shakur was struck by 4 rounds fired from a .40 caliber Glock, 2 in the chest, 1 in the arm, and 1 in the leg. Orlando Anderson, a Crip gang member, was suspect in the murder but denied being involved and was never charged. He was killed in an unrelated gang shootout in 98 on September 29, 2023. 27 years after Shakur murder, Cleve Davis, Anderson's uncle, was arrested after being indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder of Shakur. So this play, the uncle knew who the shooter was. Come on, man.
Small's investigation in the early 2000s. The filing reads, the 3 LAPD and FBI agents were part of a task force to solve the shooting of rapper Notorious B.I.G., also known as Biggie Smalls, legal name Christopher Wallace. The task force, through a sophisticated criminal investigation, obtained sufficient evidence that would prove Mr. Davis was the leader of the Southside Crips and his gang was responsible for over 360 kilos of cocaine and PCP. Mr. Davis provided 3 interviews to obtain immunity from prosecution. The final interview were solely questions regarding the Tupac Shakur shooting, which Mr. Davis was also provided immunity from prosecution. So during a December 2008 interview with investigators, that is when Davis allegedly started to spill the beans about his one-time friend, Sean Combs, who he refers to as Puffy. He claims Sean Puffy Combs solicited Mr. Davis to kill Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur for $1 million. Eric Zip Martin, an associate of Puffy Combs, provided Mr. Davis with a gun to exact revenge on Tupac Shakur for the beating Mr. Anderson received. Now, Davis reportedly told the investigators that even though the job had been partially completed and Shakur was killed, neither he nor Anderson ever got paid. He later revealed that he believes Combs had paid the go-between Zip Martin, who he claims kept the money for himself. And he said much...
See that? $1 million hit was sent on Tupac. And big, man. Puff Daddy willing to pay that much money. But instead, it says Mr. Davis, he didn't receive anything, nor, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson died 2 years later in a war shootout back home in 98. This is shocking development stories, man. Cause now that Tupac family's hired an attorney, Alex Sparrow. So it's not looking good for Diddy at all. And the sad thing, Diddy gonna think that Jay-Z don't have nothing to do with him, and he thinking Jay-Z is gonna spill the beans. Like, now, keep in mind, the two are involved in that 13-year-old. So, when you got lawsuit filed, when it comes to a sexual case, man, you gotta wonder now. Jay-Z don't want to have no parts of this because you know how serious this can go. Did he think that, that Jay-Z is going to snitch on him for some reason, man? Because now you got Alex Sparrow is taking this case, man, and Diddy's in a lot of trouble, man, and And nobody gonna get you out this one. Nobody gonna get him out this one. You know, he's in a world of trouble. And you know, Mr. Cleve Davis, he got 180-page transcripts of Diddy involvement, man. He was a mastermind. You know, so if you really look at it, it all makes sense. That he was a mastermind. He orchestrated that he wanted Biggie and Pop, you know what I mean, murder. So if it was to send a hitman to get the job done, that's exactly what he had did.
Much of the same thing in a 2009 interview a year later, because according to the motion to dismiss, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, as far back as 2009, was in possession of the same set of facts that the Clark County District Attorney is now alleging makes Mr. Davis responsible for the murder of Tupac Shakur. The Clark County District Attorney's Office has offered no reason as to why it waited another 14 years to prosecute a case against Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis has been irreversibly prejudiced by this unnecessary delay in prosecution of this case, and Mr. Davis's constitutional rights have been violated in an extraordinary manner never before witnessed in the annals of the American criminal justice system. Now, of course, there was a response, because the prosecutors from Las Vegas called out Davis for being quite dramatic and said he has been telling on himself for decades. So their motion in opposition to the motion to dismiss states, in the years following Shakur's murder, defendant Dwayne Keefe D. Davis confessed to being involved in Shakur's murder in nearly every form imaginable. Defendant confessed to some of his role in Shakur's murder during an interview with LVMPD Homicide in 2009. Defendant admitted to seeking a deadly confrontation with Knight and Shakur in interviews with the producers of the Death Row Chronicles in 2017. Defendant recounted his involvement in Shakur's murder in his book published in 2019. And defendant...
Hey guys, did you know some drivers are ditching their car insurance and they're doing this instead?
And has gleefully claimed responsibility for the murder of Shakur in numerous YouTube interviews from 2019 up.
So the confrontation with Knight and Shakur, an interview with producers of the Death Row Chronicles in 2017, defendant we counted his involvement in the Shakur murder. In his book published in 2019, defendant have greatly fully claimed responsibility for the murder of Shakur in numerous YouTube interviews from 2019 until his arrest.
And the prosecution then addressed the issue of immunity from prosecution, right? Well, maybe he's admitting everything because, he thinks he's immune. They have a response to that. Quote, defendant asserts that he has received immunity from prosecution in this case. Defendant has provided absolutely no proof that transactional immunity was ever conveyed by any prosecuting authority. Defendant has provided no federal court order conveying immunity. Defendant has provided no California court order conveying immunity. However, even if he had such a grant, they couldn't possibly cover his criminal liability in Nevada. Defendant also claims that his proffer in 1998 and his statement to Detective Long somehow created immunity for the crime. As the court is aware, the legal community utilizes proffer to describe a contractual relationship between an interviewee and a prosecuting authority. In essence, a proffer agreement allows for statements made pursuant to the terms by the interviewee to not be used against that person. The state does not seek to utilize the 1998 proffer session against defendant and has no idea what the terms of such an agreement were between him and the federal government before he entered his plea. The report seems to reflect that this was a standard proffer where a criminal defendant is interviewed about his knowledge on all possible criminal subjects he may have information about before he's allowed to enter his plea. While he doesn't refer to the proffer agreement with the AUSA Searwright, the terms of that agreement are known. Defendant was specifically informed that this agreement was between him and the federal government. Moreover, the agreement is limited to a single date and time. It allows for the statements to be utilized on cross-examination of defendant if he ever testifies differently. Finally, the agreement is limited by its express terms. Nothing in that agreement suggests that the defendant has immunity from any criminal charges. Notwithstanding, it appears to only apply by its express terms to an interview on December 1st, 2008. Certainly, defendant is free to litigate the admissibility of the December 18, 2008 statement. However, case law establishes that defendant's mistake of fact about its admissibility particularly where he had a lawyer present who knows the specific terms of the agreement, would not lead to suppression of the statement, meaning it can't come into evidence. And on Tuesday, Clark County District Court Judge Carly Kearney agreed with the prosecution, saying Davis has provided no proof that he had any immunity deals, and we're going to expect to hear in the next few days if Davis's legal team plans to appeal that decision to the state Supreme Court. Remember, going back to Cosby, it was the Pennsylvania Supreme Court who ultimately determined that his conviction should be vacated because he had entered into an immunity agreement. So, we shall see what happens. But that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody.
But Big is writing all Junior Mafia, Lil Kim.
So we're going to read where it says, Keith D. Davis, a former Southern California street gang leader, pleads not guilty. So evidently he pleaded not guilty Thursday to the murder in 1996, killing rapper music icon Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas. A charge was filed from the Las Vegas Detention Center by his own description in recent years about the deadly drive-by shooting. So it says Davis is only a person still alive who was in a vehicle which shots was fired, and only person ever charged with a crime in a case. It said prosecutor came to subpoenas Mr. Davis that secured killing in Las Vegas came out. Competition between East Coast members of Blood Gang set and West Coast group of a Crip set, including Davis for domination in a musical gangster rap. It says a grand jury was told on the September 7, 1996 shooting in Las Vegas was retaliation for a brawl hour earlier at a Las Vegas Strip casino involving Shakur Davis' nephew Orlando Anderson, Baby Lane Anderson. That's where he go by, Baby Lane. So it says Shakur, it says largely considered one of the most influential, it says. Okay, so versatile rapper of all times, he had 5 albums, was nominated for 6 Grammy Awards, and was introduced into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2017. Received numerous rewards. So it says here, he was the star year of Hollywood Walk of Fame, there. In a court on Thursday, Davis stood in shackles as he raided proceeding and waved to his wife, sons, and daughters and packed spectators gallery. So it says not guilty, Davis says, when Clark County Detention Center Jones asked for his plea. So it says the judge told Davis that prosecutors are now seeking the death penalty in a case which could put Davis in prison for the rest of his life if he's convicted. Jones also named county special public defenders Robert Royal and Charles Cano to represent Davis as taxpayer expense after Davis lost his bid to hire private defense attorneys Rose Goodman. So it says Goodman 2 weeks ago says prosecution lack of evidence and key evidence including a gun, a vehicle for the killing, and committed 27 years ago outside the courtroom on Thursday. Goodman says Davis was still trying to hire him. Davis' family members declined to comment. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson told reporters that he had a panel of prosecutors decided the case against Davis was not the kind of a case that should proceed with action of a death penalty. He didn't specify reasons for that decision. Wolfson also declined to respond to a Goodman criticism of evidence, saying that a jury was weighed the results of a police investigation. So in the court, it says David wore blue jeans and a girdle and answered several questions, telling the judge that he attended a year of college, wasn't under the influence of drugs, medication, or alcohol, and he understood he is charged with murder. The judge set a next court date for Tuesday to schedule the trial. So let's hear what this saying right here, man, because Diddy was a hit, man. He was a hip and pop murder, man. He sent out the hit, man. He paid for the hit, man. Y'all, this is what y'all gotta realize, man. Diddy was the mastermind of it all.
But he telling Puff, they write their own, because he's in the publishing deal with Diddy, right? Okay. This is what I think ultimately why Big got killed, because he was robbing Puff.
So does that clear Diddy's involvement with it?
No, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Could you kind of put that on? It seemed like you angled it like Reggie as an orchestrator, but where does Diddy fit in that equation then? Because people are trying to assume that he is connected to Tupac's assassination.
All right. First and foremost, let me say my points and views are speculation, right? This is just all through research. And my points and views is not the points and views of comedy hype, all right? First and foremost, let me say that, right? So, Reggie, I believe, is involved because, let's take it back to Diddy, right? More recently, there's a rapper, or a former rapper, I don't even know if he's a rapper anymore, but a guy named Little Sean did an interview recently, and that brought up more of Diddy's involvement to me, right? The Quad Studios session, right, where Tupac got shot, right? I believe that that's where the ultimate ending in Vegas, I think that this is the origin.
Connected.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Why I say that is this, right? I watched this interview with Lil Sean more recently, and when he talked about it, the Quad shooting, this time he left blanks. He didn't want to mention Diddy name, and he didn't want to mention Jimmy Henchman name, right? Which was odd to me, because when he left those blanks, I went and did research, and I went through all his interviews. I found his original interview with Combat Jack, where he names everybody, right? And the more recent one, he's just talking about, I got too much respect for these dudes. I don't want to mention their names. They my big brothers. I'm like, damn, what are we talking about? So I go research, boom, find the Combat Jack joint. He giving all up, right? The blanks that was missing was Diddy and Jimmy Henchman, right? So now here's what happens. If you go look at the Vibe interview with Diddy, or MTV interview, sorry, with Biggie and Puff sitting on the couch. You know that one, right?
Yeah.
They are questioned about the shooting at Quad Studios. Diddy never mentions Jimmy Henchman, right? So what happens is this. Pac is doing bad at the time, right? He's famous, but financially he's hurting, right? They all know this. So Jimmy Henchman was trying to manage Pac. Pac wasn't like, nah, nigga, I'm not letting you manage me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that began the little friction, allegedly, right? He wouldn't let him manage him. Pac is in New York shooting above the rim, right? He's now hanging out with Haitian Jack, right? For whatever reason, they got close to him, and Pac is, finally financially messed up. Jack is taking them shopping, buying them Rolex. You know, they getting in with him. They see his potential. You know, and so you know how they do. It's like the hustlers that take care of the kid that know how to play basketball in the hood. Hopefully, you go to the NBA. I'm good, right? So Jack is looking out for Pop. Big knows Haitian Jack. You know what I'm saying? All of them, they know Haitian Jack, and they know his reputation. Big go and tell Pop, yo, don't be hanging with these niggas. These niggas ain't right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Pop go back and tell Haitian Jack what Big said, and Big gets robbed. Fast forward. Jimmy Henchman has an argument for whatever reason with Pac on the phone. Right now, Lance Rivera tells this story, and he they on the phone. They say Pac arguing with a dude because Jimmy wanted Pac to do a verse for Little Sean. Pac said, "Yo, I'll do it for 7 bands." Right? So he go to Ron G house. He do Ron G mixtape for free, but he charging these dudes. Right? So Jimmy Henchman calls Pac, or one of his boys called Pac, whoever, to set up the session. Right? Now, this falls on the tail of the rape case.
Okay.
Right? Lil Sean, Jack, and Pac hang out, right? Okay. Now, Lil Sean said when he met Pac, they never even had no conversation.
Now it's all starting to make sense, and all the puzzle pieces are starting to come together, man. Urban Legend Will Evans, welcome to the live stream. At the end, and we'll do our entrepreneur talk at the end like we always do. We start every live stream the same way. We start the live streams with a prayer before we get started. So let's get started. Dear Heavenly,
well, a big shout out to this brother, man. You know what I mean? Before I start this live up, you know what I mean? Big shout out to him, man. He's a firm believer, man. He represent, you know what I mean, suburban legend. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Will, you know what I mean, Evans, man.
Heavenly Father, we come before you, God. Everybody in here is healthy, I hope, and they're watching from a place of wanting the community and fellowship and have a good time and entertain each other with this entertainment news and educate each other on what's going on in the world. God, I ask that you bless everybody under the sound of my voice. Bless their family members, their children, their loved ones, God. Somebody had plans today that didn't wake up today, God. So we're grateful for life. Thank you for the abundance that you bless us with, and thank you for the community and people that you bless us with. In Jesus' name, amen.
This whole thing was done in 7 days from the initial phone call. Went in on Wednesday, and
it would be a conflict of interest if Jay-Z and Diddy were associates, or if they associated on another case. It would be a conflict of interest for this lawyer to work against Diddy and for Jay-Z if Jay-Z is associated with Diddy.
Now, that's a good question, folks. That, can you see it's a conflict of interest with Jay-Z legal team, man? You know what I mean? Alex Sparrow. I mean, look, you know what I mean? Word is that he got to take the case for, you know what I mean, Tupac Shakur family that they investigate, and he's taking this case. So what makes it kind of odd, you know what I mean, to me. Why did, you know what I mean? I mean, you don't see it's a conflict of interest, you know what I mean? The two know each other, and it's no telling what Jay-Z could say to Alex, you know what I mean, Sparrow. You know what I mean? I think it's a conflict of interest. I think if Diddy better get some lawyers on, you know what I mean, on this. And like I said, Jay-Z better be careful. He better get him some lawyers. You got to go deeper in his pockets, because with Tony Buzzy and pulled the string. You know what I mean? And see, these lawyers that he hired from New York, man. These lawyers represent Donald Trump back in 2001, man. And like I said, man, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Jay-Z gotta heal the client. And you know, at some point, don't you know that with Alex Sparrow, he's thinking that he might lose this case with Jay-Z. But look, he's representing Tupac Shakur families, and he took this case because now he can look more into Diddy's situation. And you don't see that it's a conflict of interest. And right now, Jay-Z's trying to stay far. He's trying to distance himself far away from Puff Daddy, man. Y'all don't see a conflict of interest, you know. But like I said, man, you know, Tony Buzzy scored big, man. And you know what I mean. Like I said, when it comes to, you know what I mean, Alex Sparrow, man, you know, he got another case in hand. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking that with this case with him and Jay-Z, I think it's a possibility Jay-Z go down, man. If he don't, man, he got to go deep in his pockets, man. He got to go real deep in his pockets, man. Because Tony Buzzy, man, he didn't hire too powerful house of lawyers, man. And he got an investigator taking this case. Look, man, this is gonna get big, man. Before it gets said and done, this man, let's Jay-Z don't go in his pockets and get more attorneys, man. This could be huge.
So he has to ruin that association and say that they were never friendly. Eminem's collaboration with JID, where he raps, "Notorious B.I.G.'s death was the domino effects of Tupac's murder, like facial tissue."
Hold on, let's go.
Breaking news tonight, P did it. Did Sean Diddy Combs order $1 million hit on Tupac Shakur? Bail documents say, oh yes he did. Good evening, I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
New allegations made against disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs.
Well, the walls are falling in around Sean Puffy, a.k.a. Diddy Combs, as we learn in court documents.
You know, I want to say, as you think that P. Diddy is getting a break, and it's, you know what I mean? You know, it's always, you know what I mean, fresh allegations, man. You think that everything is dying down, man. Come on, man. They got 47 accusations of him and his involvement with Tupac. You know, when it comes to Jay-Z and his legal team, man, you know, Tupac family hired, you know what I mean, a lawyer, and it happened to be Jay-Z legal team, Alex Sparrow, and it's not looking good for Diddy, man. You know, at this point, man, you see, you know what I mean, Alex Sparrow represents Jay-Z, and Jay-Z, you know what I mean, now when it comes to Tony Buzzy just went all out. Went all out to get some powerhouses. Man, this is huge. This is huge win from Tony Buzzy, man. And to me, you know, I just think that, you know, Jay-Z spent a lot of money, but he's gonna have to you know what I mean, deeper into his pockets, man. Because, you know, I think if you really look at it, man, when it comes to Alex Sparrow, he's all about the Benjamins. He's all about that money, man. Now, he's taking this case with Diddy, man. Y'all gotta listen to this, man. Y'all gotta listen to what she's saying, man. She's telling it, man. But now that he's taking the case with Diddy, I mean Alex Sparrow taking the case with Diddy, Jay-Z don't want to have no parts, man. And it's looking it's getting real crazy.
He is named 77 times at least as it relates to the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, it's a very long and circuitous explanation, but what it boils down to is the East Coast, West Coast feud and allegations that he offered $1 million for the death of Tupac Shakur, even making a phone call just after the hit, claiming, was that me? Like somebody else ordered a hit? Joining me in All-Star Panel to make sense of what we know right now, but listen.
Things are not looking good for Sean Diddy Combs. In addition to lawsuits, raids, federal investigation, and a secret grand jury, the only living suspect in Tupac Shakur's murder now implicates Puff Daddy in the September 7th, 1996 drive-by shooting. A recent court filing for Dwayne Keefe D. Davis' upcoming murder trial mentions Puffy 77 times, while Vegas police confirm that Combs has never been and is not a suspect. The mogul's silence is deafening.
Okay, you got to take into account that Keefe D wants bail and could be willing to say anything to get it. But here's the problem with that argument. This document has been buried away for a long time under wraps. It was a proffer. What is a proffer? A proffer is when you go outside the jury's presence, typically in the judge's chamber, sometimes close the courtroom, and you tell the judge what you're going to bring into evidence because you need a ruling whether it's admissible or inadmissible. Sometimes that proffer of evidence can be so volatile, if you put it in front of a jury before it's allowed, you have a mistrial. It can be that volatile, that inflammatory, and that's what this document is. Never meant to see the light of day. Where Sean Puffy Combs is named, we know of 77 times in the murder, the hit on Tupac Shakur. It wasn't supposed to come out. Well, it has. You know what? How did the whole thing start? Listen.
The East Coast, West Coast rap feud begins with the near death of Tupac Shakur at Quad Records, Manhattan. Tupac's invited to record when he's attacked by 3 armed men and shot 5 times, but lives. Vibe magazine says that Sean Puffy Combs and Notorious B.I.G. were both at the studio and may have known Shakur was being set up.
Tupac's belief Puffy and Big knew about the Quad Records attack adds to the feud between Combs' East Coast Bad Boy Records and Suge Knight's West Coast Death Row Records. It escalates when Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, and Mob Pyru associates run into Southside Crip Baby Lane Anderson at the Vegas Mike Tyson Bruce Seldon fight.
Good gravy. And that goes back to forever ago. You know what? Let's figure out what's happening. Straight out to Lauren Collin joining us, investigative reporter, host of the Outlier podcast, and co-host of Primetime Crime on YouTube. Lauren, thank you for being with us. Listen, have you ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark? And I believe it's the Ark of the Covenant that is, in the end, Indiana Jones gets it, and it's put in a cardboard box and sealed up, and it's carted away, and it's put on the bottom shelf of something that looks like the storage room for the Smithsonian, never to be seen again. This document has cracked open the murder of Tupac Shakur wide open. Tell me about it.
Yes, Keefe D absolutely never thought this would see the light of day. He is very upset in court. He said, "You broke the proffer agreement. I told you all this because I was on a task force to help the LAPD figure out who killed Tupac and also who killed Biggie Smalls." He was helping with both of these things. So in response to his bail request, the state put out this 179-page document, which is extremely. They are saying, look, Dwayne Davis, look, KPD, if you can be paid for murder, then why should you be out on the streets?
Okay, you know what? Daryl Cohen, a former felony prosecutor, he's handled his share of murder cases. Now, defense attorney, Daryl Cohen, explain in more simple terms, if you can, what is a proffer and why this document naming Sean Puffy Combs as ordering the hit on Tupac Shakur, $1 million hit, was never supposed to see the light of day.
Nancy, before there's a trial, when there's a trial,
I want to say, man, Diddy getting his karma too, man, and they about to reopen this case, man. You know, I had someone said Diddy was gonna be on a pardon and he's gonna come home. Y'all don't think he's really a monster, man. They bring in there's more of these allegations. You know, and I say this already, man, that yes, they're gonna get him as being, you know what I mean, involved. He's being the hitman. He the one that sends the hit. Yes. He's going down, man. And if he ever gonna look at that, Alex Sparrow is taking this case. He better say it's a conflict of interest, because look, he representing Jay-Z and he's taking this case. He just opened up this case, man. But Jay-Z, on the other end, he better dig in these pockets, man. Because when it comes to Alex Sparrow, man, he's only going to liable to do certain things, man. You're gonna need you a higher lawyer, man. Man, you better dig in those pockets, man, because what Tony Buzzy did. Tony Buzzy's he's going for the whole home run. He's going for a whole home run, man. You know what I mean? His legal team, he got some powerhouses, man. He got some people that represent Donald Trump back in 2001, man. And y'all thought, see, if I told people, man, I sit here and told people, man, Trump is not sitting Diddy apart, man. Diddy realizing, man, he got Alex Sparrow is taking this case, so this is not looking really good for Diddy's and his legal team. I heard, you know what I mean, Diddy fired his legal team. I heard the last time I heard that Diddy was supposed to get some new lawyers. When you get new lawyers, it's not looking good, and your trial is not far. You know, so man, it's really not looking good for Diddy, man. They're gonna probably get him for the 96 Tupac's death. They probably can get him with accessory. You know what I mean? Because it shows some involvement. They can get him. They can get him with murder. However it goes, they can get him. They can get him with accessory. They can get him murder. You know. Let's roll this clip, man. See what they saying here, man. This is not really looking good right now.
We have what's called opening statement. That's when the lawyer says he or she anticipates this is the evidence that's going to happen from their side. A proffer, back up a little bit, back up before trial. This is a document or a video or an oral statement that says, this is why we are here. This is what I anticipate that you guys will find, guys being plural for male, female, doesn't matter. This is what I anticipate you're going to find, and this is what I'm telling you has happened. But you got to keep it quiet, because if somebody finds out, I'm toast.
Guys, now, in addition to all of the other issues closing in on Sean Puffy Combs, is he going to be charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur? Now, the feds say he has never been a suspect. He is not a suspect. Okay, I'll take that with a box of salt. Let's go back to how the whole thing started.
Tupac Shakur, along with Suge Knight and members of their entourage, which include members of Mob Piru, came to Vegas to attend the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Members of the Southside Compton Crips, which included Davis, along with his nephew Orlando Anderson, were also in attendance at the same event. As both were leaving the fight, members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM, and at that time they began to kick and punch him near that elevator bank. Following this incident, Tupac and Suge Knight both left the MGM to make their way to a post-fight party, which was to occur at a local nightclub. At the same time, word had spread amongst members of the Southside Compton Crips of what had occurred inside the MGM. That's when Dwayne Davis began to devise a plan to obtain a firearm and retaliate against Suge Knight and Mr. Shakur for what occurred inside the hotel against Mr. Anderson.
So, Robert Crispin, joining us formerly with the Federal Task Force for the U.S. DOJ, now at Crispin Special Investigations, you're telling me, see, I don't buy this for 1 minute, that the whole hit on Tupac Shakur was over a fight at the MGM elevator bank the night of the Tyson fight? It's a lot deeper than that.
I mean, this goes way back so deep. I'm sure maybe that's where they just wanted to start it from, to kind of deflect from all the other stuff that's been going on. I don't know. But if I could just run back to this proffer letter real quick, which in the federal side, after you've been arrested, you know, you do the 5K1, or before you've been arrested, you do the 5K1, which is cooperating with the government and going in and proffering what you know and what can you do to help the government's case accelerate and go further and identify more conspirators, i.e., obviously he then became a police informant. I'm sure you're going to find out undercover calls were there. There were meetings out in New York. There were meetings all over the place. Meaning, and we call them chance encounters at the government, meaning we follow you, Nancy, and you go to a gas station and I send the informant in to get gas right next to you, and lo and behold, it's, hey, Nancy, wow, so funny to run into you. And the next thing you know, we start that conversation, or you start that conversation with the...
Y'all don't see Diddy orchestrated that hit? That hit was it was this plan. It was orchestrated. Diddy want Pop, you know what I mean? He wanted Pop gone. You know what I mean? And then when it came to his homie, Biggie, he wanted Biggie gone, man. Because it come to a point where, you know what I mean, Biggie was making so much money he was getting his full money. You know, that's why I say, man, for the love of money is the root of all evil, man. And when you get people so eager for it, they will do whatever it takes. You see that betrayal, you see the hate, you see the envy, you see the greed, you see the jealousy, you see all these things play a factor. You see all these things, man, play a role, man. And that's why, you know what I mean, Diddy's he's sitting in jail. He's, you know what I mean? This is why he's in this, situation, man. Because the greed, the envy, the jealousy, the hate, all that comes, man. He owed Big so much money, man. He owed him so much money, man. So what you do, you sit in here, you just kill two birds with one stone. And that's exactly what Diddy did. Killed two birds in one stone. That's how you get that. You just get rid of both of them.
Informant who's wearing a wire or a digital recorder, and randomly at some gas station.
Yeah, you know what, Robert Crispin? I think a lot of you, but where's this going? Could you wrap it up, please? You put it.
I'm just saying. I'm sure that probably tipped the scale that night, and that got him upset. That's when they went to get the gun, and that's when they went and did what they did. Sure.
Okay, that I understand. Hey, let's see that video again. The whole thing is caught on video. Here is the brawl that breaks out at the elevator bank at the MGM Grand the night of the Tyson fight. Okay, check it out. And remember, Davis, along with nephew Orlando Anderson, are there. Okay, they're leaving the Tyson fight. Death Row Records peeps spot Orlando Anderson, and they begin to viciously attack him. Okay, after this attack caught on video, Davis gets a gun. Listen.
After Davis obtained a gun, he entered into a white Cadillac along with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. As they were in the white Cadillac, Mr. Davis took the gun that he had obtained and provided it to the passengers in the rear. As they were driving west on Flamingo Road near Koval, they located the black BMW, which was driven by Suge Knight, and in the passenger seat was Tupac Shakur. And as they turned around, they pulled up near the passenger side of that vehicle and immediately began shooting at Mr. Knight and Mr. Shakur.
Shakur is hit 4 times in the chest. Suge Knight is grazed in the head by a bullet fragment. Tupac Shakur dies 6 days later.
Okay, so that's the response. Karen Stark joining me, a renowned TV and radio trauma expert. You can find her at KarenStark.com. That's Karen with a C if you're looking for her. Karen, so a fight goes down, okay? The nephew gets beat up and beaten up really badly. And instead of like most people would call police or 911, what do? Davis goes and gets a gun. They jump in the white Cadillac and they go looking for Shakur and they find him. Now, explain to me that response, because I bet if you got beat up.
You see what happened there? They continue, for the hunt for Tupac Shakur, man. And, they caught up with him. Notice Suge Knight was grazed from the bullet. And the gun was passed to Orlando Anderson. And he went after Pop. Shot Pop multiple times, man. And so now, this man, Mr. Davis, being held at the Clark County Tenth Center, and he got over 180 pages of transcripts. And so he knows what happened on that night. So he said, well, don't forget about Diddy, because, we had Diddy, he orchestrated the whole crime. When you got money, and you sit hits, like, Diddy sit this hit. The question is, why was Diddy wasn't arrested 27 years ago? See, it's been so long to solve the death of Tupac Shakur. You only got Keith Davis in. But now it's catching up, man. It's catching, because I tell you, man, not just Alex Sparrow just representing Jay-Z. He's man, you can see he's in it for the money, man. You can see he took this case for Tupac and his family, man. He took this case, man, to get justice for the death of Tupac, man. And you know, Alex Spiro is he's gonna shred Diddy apart, man. He's gonna sit back. He's gonna, you know what I mean. And see, that's why I always say, man, when you represent two people, and you know what I mean, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, you got some grounds in this Diddy's case. You know what I mean, because there's a lot of grounds, man. And, you know what I mean, for the case Diddy's in for, and then you got, don't forget the '96 connection Diddy had with, and the '96 connection with Pop's death. You know, so it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good, fam. Unless he gets some new attorneys, and I heard that supposedly Diddy fired his attorneys, man. You know, like I said, Jay-Z better go in that wallet, man. He better use that best Visa card and draw out some money, man, because he's gonna need a lot of money, man, to hire these attorneys, man, because these attorneys that Tony Buzzy has, man, it's off the chart. They know, you know what I mean. When you get attorneys from New York, man, and they said they represent Donald Trump. You know what I mean. Back in 2021, man. Look, man. I always told y'all, man. If you go to my video that I made yesterday, man. You know what I mean. When you look at things, man, everything's been set. It's set a reset. Everything is a reset button, man. When Trump came back in office, man, he was showing the world, man. Look, man. I am where I am, man. You know, and you know, so some people think that he gonna do something for Diddy, man. No. See, what Diddy's in for, man, what he allegedly been accused of and involved in, nothing gonna save himself, man. It's the same with Jay-Z, man. You know, Jay-Z, man. They're gonna bring up eventually. They're gonna bring up that Kathy Wright's, you know what I mean, death, man. You know what I mean? At some point, the feds is going to investigate. They're going to bring in that Kathy Wright's death, man. Jay-Z in the world trouble, man. You know, when it comes to Alex Spiro, man, he got to represent Jay-Z, and he's taking this case. You know what I mean? He got two different cases, man. He's taking. In the case he's taking against Diddy, that case going to be huge. That case going to see not only that, you know, Tony Buzzy hired attorneys for Jay-Z and Diddy, and Jay-Z, he's going to have to go deeper in these pockets, man. You know what I mean? He's going to have to go deeper in these pockets, man. Because Buzzy went all out, man. Yeah, and I think Buzzy worked with a couple of YouTubers, like people like Jaguar Wright, man. Look, man, she spilled the whole beans, man. And other YouTubers like me, and other YouTubers like Racket TV, and you know what I mean. Look, man, all we do is going to spread this truth for you guys, man. We know what's going to happen with Jay-Z and Diddy, man. Jay-Z's going down, man. Jay-Z is going down. Tony Buzzy, look, man. You know, he's going all the way in, man. You know what I mean? He didn't pay a good amount of money to get these new powerhouse lawyers, man. They ain't got private investigator. You know, he's going out, man. He's going out to make sure, you know what I mean, she get this lawsuit won, man. And that's to me, man, that's a plus, man. When you can get some new lawyers in this case, man, that represent Donald Trump in 2001, you know, Jay-Z better go in those pockets, man. Because, you know, he paid some money to get, you know what I mean, Alex Spiro. But Alex Spiro, he's he got to make money too. He got to eat too, man. And look, man, Jay-Z don't go in those pockets, man. And you gotta remember now, fam. Now that they got this case and they tying Diddy in the connection of Pop's death, Diddy's finna tell. He gonna be like this, man. Yeah, Jay-Z was there. If he gets, look, man, if he gets, if they put him involved in the connection of Pop's 96, death, you can hang it up for Diddy. And if they tie him in with Biggie's death, man, you can hang it up for Diddy, man. Diddy finna start telling. Look, man, he gonna make sure Jay-Z go down too. See, that's the point with Diddy the snitch. It's a lot of people say that's not within his reputation. But look, man, look, fam. There's a lot of that when it comes to this. When it comes to these allegations, there's a lot of that state. When it comes to Diddy, there's a lot of that state, man. And I look, man. There's a conflict of interest with Alex Sparrow representing Jay-Z, and then he's taking this case against Diddy. Diddy's team. Diddy had to find. Well, he went to hire. This is why Jay-Z know that Diddy gonna fire his lawyer team and hire new lawyers, because look, man, this is a conflict of interest. With Alex Sparrow representing Jay-Z, and then now he's taking the case against Diddy. It's a conflict of interest, because now you mean to tell me that he knows that Jay-Z and Diddy had a long history of a relationship. There was this more than buddies. There was friends, those co-workers, and all that, man. So there's a conflict of interest. It won't be fair, because you look at it. Well, with Diddy, how how it's not a conflict of interest when you have Alex Sparrow represent Jay-Z, and these is two separate cases. Yes, it's not like Alex Sparrow represent Jay-Z on the RICO indictment, but he's not even representing. He's not taking that RICO indictment case, but he's taking a case that Tupac family called on. They hired a lawyer, a high lawyer, and it happened to be Alex Sparrow. Now, we're looking at two separate cases. This is not even speaking of Diddy's RICO, because that's separate. I want to say this, fam. It's gonna be a day that Diddy gonna have to. I told y'all in my last video, man. He had to take the stand, man. He had to get up there on that pedestal, man. Look, with everything going against him, man, it's hard to pull this one out, man. How much strings do he got attached? That this everything's coming out now, man. Everything's coming out. You had Keith Davis already snitched on Diddy. If you really look at it, man. This is why they know it was more than one person that was involved, man. Now they said Diddy orchestrated. He said it hit. He was willing to offer $1 million. I'm offering $1 million for this hit. It's all in the documents, man. All in the documentations, man. It's all in the transcript of these documentations, man. And And like I said, man, when you're a monster, you're a monster. Now, do you think Diddy gonna be qualified for having a pardon? No. That's why I told y'all, man. But you get people like YouTubers, other YouTubers believe, like Rack 100. You get other YouTubers believe, man, Diddy's coming home. How you gonna explain that, man? You got this game. You might as well just hang everything up. If I was Diddy, I'll just go tell, man, because it's not what you in for. You might as well start dropping names because your life you're already getting life, and not this. We're not even talking about the pop's murder yet. But I'm quite sure when that gets underway, that's just a new additional charge. It's sad, man. It's sad. It's sad, man. And like I said, man, money's running out. You know what I mean? Son spending his money, kids spending his money. Money his money being spent, man, from his family, man. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure that he get, you know what I mean? He just hired a new legal team. He got to get rid of that legal team because it had to be a conflict of interest. I mean, here you want somebody to challenge, you know what I mean, Alex Spiro, because now that Tupac Shakur families is asking for a legal team, and that's, you know what I mean, who's taking that case? Alex Spiro. You know what I mean? He's taking the case as he represent Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Alex Spiro is taking this case because he sees, not just he's about his money, his Benjamins, but he sees something. And if Diddy this is why Diddy fired his team, man. He had to get some more. He got to get some new lawyers, man, because it's not looking good at the end of the day, man. It's not looking good for Jay-Z either, man. Because man, they've been like when it comes to Tony Buzzy, man, he's I take my hat off. He's a good law firm, man. He's good, man. I heard word was he had some talk with Jaguar, man. You know what I mean? YouTubers. I'm quite sure he watched other YouTube videos, and he talked with Jad, and Jad knows about the industry. She was a magician in the industry, so she knows a lot about the industry, how it's run. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, if you really look at Jad and her video, if you support Jad, you know what I mean, Jad, right? If you look at her videos, you look at over there her continent, man. She's exposing everything, man. She was saying Jay-Z was next, and I believe that, man. And you know what I mean. I stand on my words. I'm quite sure 100% she stands on hers. And we knew Jay-Z and Beyonce was next. And the only difference is, you know what I mean, between Jay-Z and Diddy, man, is Diddy don't put himself all out there, but now you see a pattern when it comes to Jay-Z. You see this pattern, you know what I mean? And people start when you start seeing it more, when you start like connecting the dots and you start seeing his dark secrets, you start seeing his affairs, you know what I mean? And when you see his secret affairs, man, this is plain to this day, man. Everybody knows he was involved with underage minors, man, and you can't make this up, man. This is why he was hiding his son, he was hiding his kids, because his secret affair with his mistress, and you know what I mean, with Kathy Wright, and you know what I mean, and what he had with Rihanna, man. You know what I mean. Rihanna was young, and you know what I mean, like these people got a story to tell, like especially Rihanna. You know what I mean. Look what happened to Foxy Brown and Leah. But if I was Rihanna, you know what I mean, Rihanna can, you know what I mean, save herself because like I said, there was so many people when it comes to these when it comes to these white parties, man. There was so many celebrities, man, at these parties, man. But I think when it comes to Rihanna, man, when Jay-Z forced her to sign for Rockefeller and she was locked in the basement for hours and hours, man, I think that, now it should be like said, man. You know what I mean? It should be said now that Jay-Z is no better than Diddy, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's no worse than Diddy, man. So like I said, man, when it comes to these courts, you know what I mean? And when you know what I mean, they involved, not just involved, you know what I mean, the two involved in sexual, you know what I mean, the sexual assault, this 13-year-old rape that they had, you know what I mean, doing the MTV music we were at the party. So, there's a lot of things that they've been involved in, and and it's time to take action now, man. It's time to take action. And I think Jay-Z knows that his time is coming, man. And he knows, man. He knows Beyonce is gonna, you know what I mean, gonna at one point divorce him, because look, man, you know what I mean, when all this stuff come out, man, I'm quite sure Beyonce don't want to have no part. I'm quite sure none of these celebrities, man. I told y'all already yesterday, man, that so much stuff is at stake, man, and people, you know what I mean, people don't want their life, you know what I mean, dragging into this, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, these people got families, they got kids, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so names don't want to get dragged into it, man. You know what I mean? And you heard what Tony Buzzy said, man. Look, man, we want to go to this list, but we want to be, you know what I mean? We want this, you know what I mean? Make sure we go to this, you know what I mean, list in a correctly, you know what I mean, orderly manner. We don't want to mess up. We want to make sure we got the right people. You know what I mean? And this list, you know what I mean, he's told that it will shock you. You know what I mean? So yes, we know that there's a lot more celebrities to come, man. And like I said, man, when you at a freak off party, man, at an all right party, you see things with your eyes, man, it's just the best thing to save yourself is to report something. You know what I mean? Report something. I'm not quite sure that Tony did a good, you know what I mean, when it comes to investigating subpoenas and things. I think he did good. I think he did a good job, man. You know what I mean? I think he did a good job. You know what I mean? Getting the best loyal team. You know what I mean? Getting some powerhouses, man. Getting the best lawyers that he can, you know what I mean, find. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because when it comes to, you know what I mean, litigation and things like that, man, it's a good sign, you know what I mean? And I'm still finding like out the work on the best, you know what I mean, part of his team when it comes to these, you know what I mean, litigations and things like that. And when it comes to, you know what I mean, conflict of interest, when it comes to these sanctions that Alex Sparrow, you know what I mean, had, you know what I mean, against Tony. So like I said, man, Jay-Z, man, when it comes to sanctions and comes to motions to hear out sanctions, when it comes to the extortion that we heard from Alex, you know what I mean, Sparrow, so now, people like, you know what I mean, Big TV, big shout out to him, because he stated that Jay-Z gonna have to go deeper in his pockets, and I believe that at some point, because when there's sanctions and things, you know what I mean, and what Alex Sparrow did, that he put himself in a bad reputation for Jay-Z, where Jay-Z gonna have to hire some more legal team to hire more lawyers to up his case, man. You know what I mean? Because there's some wrongful things on both parties, and I think when it comes to Tony Buzzy, he scored anonymously, to hire, you know what I mean, hire some powerhouse, you know what I mean, lawyers. And when it comes to Jay-Z, You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, y'all, there were stations put, man, when it comes to extortion, things like that. The court takes that very serious now. You know what I mean? And I think that when it comes to these legal issues thing, I think Jay-Z at some point, man, he's going to go in his pockets, man, and get the best attorneys he can get, man. You know what I mean? Because it's come to a wire that if Jay-Z don't go in his pockets, man, because you're gonna really see how much money he got to. If you're gonna win this case, man, he got to go deeper into his pockets, man. It's still, and you still, when it comes to Tony Buzzy, man, Tony Buzzy got the best attorneys in New York. So, you know, and it shows Trump didn't represent his law firm ever since 2001, man. Look, man, that should ring you guys a bell, man. When people come out making YouTube channels and making these YouTube channels with Diddy coming home, Trump's gonna get a pardon. I told you guys, man. I told you guys, if you listen to my video yesterday, man, it's all consent, man. It's sad that you guys don't know. You know what I mean? They put out this big consent, man. Like, come on, man. I told y'all, man. Told y'all who's your boss. You know what I mean? Y'all not peeping to play. Y'all not peeping to play, man. Trump didn't, you know what I mean? Trump didn't care too much about Diddy. Diddy had so much to say to him. But now y'all see, when it comes to these legal issues, you know what I mean? When it comes to these lawyers, who Trump represent, who Trump standing, who was Trump standing by, man? Tony Buzzy and his law firm, man. Y'all not peeping to play, though. Trump had got photos of Tony Buzzy and his law firm that represent Donald Trump since 2001, man. Y'all not peeping to play, though. Y'all not peeping to play. When it comes to Alex Sparrow, what he's going to do when it comes to have to represent Jay-Z, and Jay-Z, if he don't go in the pockets, man, what Tony Buzzy did, man. Tony Buzzy went and got him some lawyer teams, man. You know what I mean? He got private investigators. They ready to go too. They ready to do this and take this case, man. They ready to go, man. You know. And when it comes to Jay-Z, it's not gonna look good for him, man. They already got the case. I'm quite sure Tony Buzzy subpoenaed enough witnesses. You know. Why you think there's a station when it comes to extortion? Alex Sparrow, Jay-Z team, and Jay-Z was offering to pay out $10,000, and there was extortion, man. There's, you know what I mean, to extort Tony and his law firm, man, to get them to just drop this case. Drop this case with my client, right? Jay-Z gonna have to get some new lawyers, man. I'm telling you, man. It's not gonna look good for him. Because he's end up incriminating himself, and he's gonna have to dig himself out this hole, man. You know, I bet y'all, a lot of y'all don't know he's incriminating himself, man. With Alex Sparrow, man, he's not gonna be able to do too much, man, if you don't get him no attorneys, man. I mean, Jay-Z gotta go deep in his pocket, man. So, cause what Tony Buzzy did, Tony Buzzy scored huge. And like I said, man, when it comes to Diddy, man, you got Alex Sparrow coming out your head, man. He trying to solve the death of Tupac Shakur in that 96 murder. Come on, man. It's not looking good for Diddy, man. Diddy, he about to do some telling now. Now you about to start seeing Diddy start pointing fingers. He's about to start telling. Because he got life. They had to stay off from life. He can't pull out this one. And you know what I mean? And once this other case which pops, that's gonna be an additional case right there. And once that comes, man, you might as well hang it up, man. Diddy been this monster, man, and it's all coming. It's all makes sense. It's all coming to this light, man. It's all coming to the light, man. It's all coming to the light, man. It all makes sense why you got Jay-Z team. His Jay-Z team telling his client that he don't have no part. He don't have no part of Diddy. Jay-Z didn't have no part of Diddy when he was involved in sending that hit out on Pop. Yeah, that's what this is, man. Jay-Z don't want to have no parts, no involvement. Now Diddy can say, well, if Diddy, look, man, if these two people go down in this rape case, this 13-year-old rape case, it's gonna be, you know, if Jay-Z go down, if he goes down in this 13-year-old case, man, this rape case that he been accused, look, man, look, it won't be good for you, man. I'm quite sure, you know what I mean, Tony new lawyer team is gonna have a strategy. And they're gonna be good at this strategy. They're gonna bring up history of Jay-Z, what he been involved in. I think they're gonna bring up all these, you know what I mean, minors that he had influence on. I think these attorneys that Tony Buzzy hired, I think they're gonna go straight after Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Because there's history of Jay-Z. You know what I mean? His involvement with minors. There's the history in that. You see where I'm going with now? They have history with underage, 16-year-old. You know, Jay-Z had, you know what I mean, a long history. And you see the gap. You see how old he was, 12 years apart from you know what I mean, from these minors that he had. He been 12 years, you know what I mean, apart. I mean, he was 12 years older. You see? Now I want you to see the picture, man. Now I want to see where we going. You know what I mean? He have history. But let's go, because we want to get back into this Pop. You know what I mean? And when Diddy hired Hitman, man, now we got to get on to this, man. We got to stay on the subject here, man. We gotta stay on why, you know what I mean, Diddy being involved in his Pop's death in '96, man. You know, now it says that Pop, you know what I mean, Pop family came out to hire a lawyer, you know. And so before I roll this tape, you guys, I want you guys to say something, man. I want you guys, how you guys feel about Diddy, man. I mean, I want you guys to comment and just tell me how y'all feel so far, man, because I say this to y'all, man. If they got this on Diddy, man, which they do, because now Jay-Z team, you know what I mean, Alex Spill he's taking this case, man, and this is a separate case. I don't know about all that, brother. Free Diddy. Diddy he's being accused of the Pop 96 death, man. He's about to, you know what I mean, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z lawyer team is taking the case, man. And he's, man, I'm telling y'all, man, it's not how easy it sounds, but he's innocent. As though you want to say he's innocent. Look, man, what he's involved in, man, he's involved in this. He's involved in the death of Tupac 96. Now, there's been 180 page of transcripts that Mr. David had You gotta remember, man, Mr. David is doing time in a Clark County Detention Center waiting trial and the death of Tupac 96. You know, there was 3 Southside Crips. Orlando Anderson, you had Mr. Davis, and there was other member. And now Diddy. You know what I mean? This is not looking good, fam. I'm gonna roll this tape, fam. Enjoy this live, fam. Share the live, like the live. But I gotta roll this in, fam. We gotta get started. We gotta talk about this. We got a lot to discover, man.
Or your husband, Mark, got beaten up. You would not go get a gun, hop in a Cadillac, and try to chase the people down. You'd call 911 and police. So what is this?
Well, I'm not part of a gang, Nancy, so you're talking about a whole different culture where they get angry. They've been angry, I really believe, before this even happened. Because why did they beat him up? So this whole feud is going on, and their response to the fight is, I think I'm just going to go kill him, because they wanted to do that. They've been ordered to do that anyway. So they needed some kind of an excuse. That's why it's not the kind of thing where you say, oh, there's a fight, let me call the police. They're going to handle this themselves.
So here's the way it goes down to Lauren Conlon joining us, host of The Outlier. The nephew, the younger nephew of Keefe D, who is Dwayne Davis. The younger nephew is Orlando Davis. He's the one that gets beaten up. I mean, yes, thank you. He is the one that gets beaten up horribly, kicked in the gut. Let's see the video again. He's kicked. I'm surprised he didn't get killed because he's being kicked viciously right there in the lobby of the MGM, for Pete's sake. And people are just milling around like nothing's happening, which amazes me if you have the good sense to run. But look at that. Look at that. So instead of calling 911,
they can't show it. It's kind of blurred, but yeah, man, if you can see clearly, man, Orlando Anderson was almost beaten to death, man. You know, that's the reason why he came back to retaliate, man. You know what I mean? Orlando Anderson, about 7 people of the Paru blood jumped on him, kicked him, stomped him. You know what I mean? These were like Paru blood members that know Pop well, man. Came. You know what I mean? Took on that assignment, man. Stumped him, man. You know what I mean? Lucky that night he didn't get stumped to death, man. But look, man. You know.
Or police.
Kind of got blurry
what
there.
They grab guns and they take off. Okay, what happens next? Listen.
March 1997, the Notorious B.I.G. is in LA to promote his new album, Life After Death. Biggie shoots a video, gives a radio interview, and presents a music award. Scheduled to fly to London, he cancels and stays in LA for an after-party, accompanied by a Bad Boy Records entourage including D. Rock Butler, Lil Cease, Gene Deal, Tone Jacobs, Stevie J, and Sean Puffy Combs.
Dwayne Keefe D. Davis claims credit for Tupac's murder on BET and in his memoir. He says Puffy Combs wanted Knight and Tupac's heads after their diss track hit him up. When Davis offers to carry out the hits, Combs agrees to pay him $1 million. According to Davis, Eric Zip Martin, a New York drug dealer, suggests they have the perfect opportunity to carry out Puffy's hit and even provides the gun. Davis, Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith stake out the club where Shakur is performing, but Tupac's a no-show and the Crips abandon the plan. Driving down the strip, they wanted Knight and Tupac's heads after their diss track hit him up. When Davis offers to carry out the hits, Combs agrees to pay him $1 million. According to Davis, Eric Zip Martin, a New York drug dealer, suggests they have the...
See? You can't make this up, man. 5 men right there. Orlando, Chief Dave, Zip. You got DeAndre Smith and Terrence Brown. All was part of this, man. You know, part of the Pop's murder, man. You see how Diddy orchestrated, man. But you saying free Diddy. If he did it, why were there no arrests for him for the crime? But look now, I want you to hear this though. Peep the play now. See, you want to leave now, but when I'm finna present the truth to you, Alex Sparrow, Jay-Z legal team is taking this case. Now that this case is coming out now, man. After it happens 27 years now. Now Diddy is being tried now. He's being tried, man. I told y'all, man, if you go into my last videos, man, I told y'all that Diddy's gonna be tried on the Pac and Biggie's murder, man. He's gonna be tried, man. They got Alex Sparrow just taking the case, man. Jay-Z legal team is taking the case, man. It's over for Diddy, man. I've been trying to tell y'all, man. All y'all trying to say, oh, Trump is gonna give Diddy a pardon. No, he's not. I told you it was just it's a propaganda. It was a propaganda stunt. Stunt. You know what I mean? It's just a cassette they put, man. Look, man, y'all gotta read between the lines, man. Y'all gotta read between the lines, man. Look, man, Diddy. I'm not gonna say Diddy grew up as a gangbanger. He was around it, but he didn't grow up as being that kind of gangbanger stuff, man. Diddy was not a gangbanger, man. He don't know nothing about that lifestyle, but he been around around gangs and things like that. But he's not a part of no gang, man. Diddy don't move like that. He just don't move like that, fam. But do he got money? Yes, he got money. He got money to send a hit on you if he wants to, and that's exactly what he did, man. He got millions, man. When you're a rapper, man, you know what I mean. When you're a magician, man, you got money, man. It says apparently his mom had crazy parties at his house. Yeah, he lived that lifestyle, man, because his dad was a drug dealer. He died. Imagine you losing your dad while you was, you know what I mean, at a young age. You know what I mean, growing up, man. Yeah, you know what I mean. He lost his dad. You know what I mean. He was young, and then his mom threw these freak off parties. You had alcohol. You know what I mean. If you hear his story, he was molested. You know what I mean. I think he was molested at about 6 years old. I'm quite sure he was molested by, you know what I mean. You can I think by a woman. Cause this look at the mother, man. You know what I mean? The mother had freak off parties, man. They had males. It was males. You know what I mean? Homosexuals and, you know what I mean, girls, lesbians. You know what I mean? Yes, man. You know what I mean? You know, so yes, you know what I mean. Diddy was involved in, you know what I mean, freak offs and things like that, man. So yeah, man. You know what I mean? Nothing good comes from his fam. You know what I mean? He's gonna be charged in the 96 of Pop's death, man. He's gonna be charged. I don't know how they're gonna charge him with accessory, but they can charge him with murder, man. Because he orchestrated the whole thing, man.
The perfect opportunity to carry out Puffy's hit, and even provides the gun. Davis, Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith stake out the club where Shakur is performing, but Tupac's a no-show, and the Crips abandon the plan. Driving down the strip, they spot Knight and Tupac stopped in traffic. Brown flips a U-turn in their white Cadillac. Davis passes Anderson the gun, and Anderson leans over Smith to shoot Tupac.
Okay, so bottom line, Orlando Anderson, the suspected shooter, who is Keefe D's nephew, is the trigger man, according to these newly obtained documents that name Sean Puffy Combs as ordering the hit, the $1 million hit. I'm going to bring in an expert, and you may wonder why this expert right now. Her name is Shannon Henry. She's the president and founder of SAS Go, Surviving Assault Standing Strong. It's a nonprofit mission to help get rid of abuse on women and trafficking. You're hearing all of this about an alleged hit by Sean Puffy Combs. The feds say, no, he's not a suspect. On Shakur. Like, there's 20,000 people milling around in Vegas and nobody knows what happens. Fine. Are you surprised after you've heard about violence by Sean Puffy Combs on Cassie Ventura. This exclusive video of Cassie Ventura being viciously beaten by Sean Puffy Combs is from our friends at CNN. Kicking her, beating her, and then him issuing that, I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of more a PR statement as opposed to an apology, but there's no doubt he did it because he issues an apology.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up.
You see, when people can come out their heads and their mind. He said sometimes you got to just do it, right? That's exactly what he just said, man. If you hear what he just said, man, I'm gonna roll the clip. But he don't even know what he said, man. Because it came out so quick. Said sometimes you live in a dark moment, and sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, man. So many words, man. This is what he's saying, man. Listen, I want you guys to listen what he's saying, man. Listen what this man's saying, man.
A PR statement as opposed to an apology, but there's no doubt he did it because he issues an apology.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that.
See, sometimes you got to do that, right? Sometimes you live in the darkest moments of your time, right? And sometimes you just got to do that, right? Yeah, man. I heard about a lot of stuff in Diddy's parties, man. I heard a lot of stuff that been going on, man. You got to understand, man. Diddy hold the keys to L.A., man. He hold the keys to L.A. just like he hold the keys to New York, and he hold the keys to Miami, man. He threw these wild freak off parties, man. And Jab was right, man. Jab right. She said all these mans that was in these freak off parties, Diddy spread that HIV like cancer. I want to give a shout out, man, to Muhammad, man. Give a shout out to my brother Muhammad, man. Yes, man. As he was this powerful dude, he was a music influencer, man. And he was this powerful dude, man. Did y'all know? I don't think y'all know that Diddy has spread, that HIV and AIDS, man. He didn't caught it in jail. He was tested. He was tested in there. So you got to think about it. You got to think about it, man. He didn't have AIDS in prison. They test for it, right? While he was in there, and they found him having, HIV, man, STD. Which he had HIV, man. And see when he's out there, when you're out there in the street, you get something you can control it. You could control it down, slow it down. But he's not out. He's not. It's the difference is he's not out here. He's inside, man. And they say he's getting thin. He's losing a lot of weight, and he's going gray. See when you out, the difference is you can buy that stuff, man, with the money you got. You can buy some hair dye. You can eat the proper nutrition. He's not eating right. They say he's not even eating. They say he's not coming out of his cell. So what that should tell you that he's not eating, man. He's losing weight. A lot of weight they say he's losing. They say he looks sick. He's sick, man. There's people in the industry living with HIV and AIDS, and Jab Wright was saying that the game, she was throwing a lot of names out there, man. The Game and Justin Timberlake, Timberland, You have just think about who did Diddy screw up with, man. And just all in that circle, man. These people were going to parties. There was party man up with man. You can't make this stuff up, man. They're having orgies, unprotected sex, all this, these people do, man. These people are sodomites, man. These people are sodomites. Nothing good come out of Hollywood, man. He was in his dark moments, man. You hear what he's saying, man. He was in his dark moments, man. He did. I just did whatever I did. You know what I mean? Look, man, he was in his dark moments, man. Come on, man. Y'all gotta hear what he's saying there, man. Gotta hear what he's saying there, man.
Exclusive video of Cassie Ventura being viciously beaten by Sean Puffy Combs is from our friends at CNN. Kicking her, beating her, and then him issuing that, I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of more a PR statement as opposed to an apology, but there's no doubt he did it because he issues an apology.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was f***ed up.
You see that? You see what he's saying there? I was fucked up. He was in the darkest times, in the darkest moments of time, man. Just sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. He's out fucked up. Yeah, he was fucked up, man. This man was fucked up, man. And like guys like Geno Gene can say that, man. When Diddy got in, man, he was on that hard drugs like he is. He wasn't a heavy drinker. He was just drinking, you know what I mean, little wine, champagne. He wasn't a heavy drinker, man. Man, what got so born to this wild life, man? What got him to do what he's doing today, man? You know what I mean? I say, man, look, I said once the Diddy started taking drugs, started taking those pills and stuff like that, Diddy was out of his mind, man. He went out of his mind, man. He started finding ways how he can, you know what I mean, make the party the party. Man, it's crazy that you got millions. You're a billionaire, and you got these money. You got all this money, right? You throw all these freak out parties and all these wild parties you can throw, man. And you got the keys, man. And you know what I mean. People go to you, man, for the parties, man. And, you know, a lot of times they said, you know what I mean, like, you know, Fat Joe says, man, look, man, he always been known as this business, you know what I mean, entrepreneur, man. He's a businessman, man. He's an entrepreneur, man. Diddy, man, he know how to do business straight inside the club, man. And that's why, you know what I mean, that's why, you know, Fat Joe, he gives out a big shout out to Diddy, man. Because he was known as a you know what I mean, entrepreneur, man. He knows how to be a businessman, know how to have business inside his clubs, man. He was more as a businessman. He know how to orchestrate, you know what I mean? That's what they saying, man. But let's hear what he's saying, though.
I mean, I hit rock bottom.
You see?
But I make no excuses. My behavior.
You see, he hit rock bottom, man. Yeah, man. Diddy did a lot. He hit rock bottom, man. After this, Diddy took a big downfall, man. This is his downfall, man. This is you know what I mean. You seeing it right now. This is the biggest downfall he's taking right now, man. He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. That's the thing. He's not coming back.
Behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
So now these bombshell documents have emerged from some moldy old paper box somewhere, and now we know for sure that Sean Puffy Combs is implicated in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Are you surprised? If so, why?
Not only am I not surprised, but the most important part is his victims aren't surprised, Nancy. This is 30 years ago. And if we walk through the history of Diddy through those years, we meet people like Kim Porter, who was abused by Diddy. We meet people like Cassie, Little Rod, all of these people that are in the wake of devastation of what he's done. This is just corroborating evidence for who he is and what he's capable of.
Are you saying that, because my experience in domestic violence, very often the perp doesn't attack anyone except the female victim, the love object. But you're saying you're not surprised violence spills over in other areas of the perp's life. Explain that.
Right. And, you know, we want to keep these things under control. If we're an abuser, we want to manipulate only the person that is the object of our, I don't even want to call it affection, but our abuse. And but the problem with this is sometimes it seeps out into the rest of our lives, into his career. We see it in his career. You know, there was a point where Steve Stout sued him, who was a record label exec, for assault. So you've got that. His social life. These are the people that he surrounded himself with. Gang members, people like that. So not only is he dangerous for what he is on the inside, which he shows to Cassie, but for what he is on the outside and the people that he surrounds himself with. And it gets all over everybody. And we're seeing it.
All these years later, and now we're hearing Sean Puffy Combs offered $1 million.
See that? Sean Combs. He offered $1 million to send his hit out, man. Come on, man. After 30 years, man. After 30 years. Would nobody even imagine that Sean Combs, Puffy, Diddy offer millions of dollars on his hit, man. After 30 years, man. But, you know, like I said, man, you get people, like I said this yesterday, man. You get people who says, man, free Diddy. Right? It's the sick, how sick this society world is. Free Diddy. You get people on here that will say, free Diddy, man. What can he possibly do wrong, man? He's being charged for wrongdoing, man. This man is being charged for wrongdoing, man. The Homeland Security picked up this case, man. He's in for a federal RICO indictment. And all y'all can say free Diddy, man. I mean, no Diddy, but damn, but man, free Diddy, man. All people, man. It's just sick. It's sick how our world is, man, today, man. And I've been always saying what he's involved in. He's involved. He's involved in the same thing Jay-Z is involved in. What the two is involved in, they involved in this. That's what they involved in, man. Y'all don't see it. Y'all don't see the two what they involved in, man. And more people coming out, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm gonna say Diddy's going underneath the jail, man. They about to use everything on him, man. Y'all didn't hear that they raided his cell, man. I don't think Diddy see what's going on with Diddy, man. Diddy ain't never did no time, man. But he thinking he know how to use code. He think he can go in there and use these codes without they wiring and monitor the phones, right? He think he can do all this, right? And not pay attention to what's going on, man. You know, when he was on the phone, he like, burn the pizza, man. You don't find it suspicious. Burn the pizza, man. You don't find it suspicious. Burn the pizza, man. Hey. Burn the pizza. Burn the pizza. Yeah, we need that. We ASAP. Hey, burn the pizza. Man, look. Burn everything. Lady, man, y'all don't find this a coincidence, man? Like, man, Hollywood no more, man. And they still, and see the fires is still, it's like new fires now all through parts of LA, man. There's still new fires. It's new fires now, just going on now, popping. Just, y'all don't find it suspicious. See, 2 Peter says, verse chapter 3, verse 3. Well, verse 7, it says, the Lord God has reserved a time where a time will be set for the ungodly. So Peter says, chapter 2, verse 3, verse 7, it says, the heaven and earth is kept for fervent fire, to reserve for a day a judgment against the ungodly. But it also says in Peter, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 says, the Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some count slowness, but he's very patient towards you, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should reach repentancy. So it teaches us what kind of people we are to be. We got to be holy, because this day is going to burn with fervent fire and heat, and no one going to be here to survive. So therefore, we are waiting for a new heaven, a new earth, where there's going to be a time we're going to reign with him. And see, this is why it says, you know what I mean, that cast all your anxieties on God, because he cares for you. And be alert. The enemy, the devil, he prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. So I find it like every Hollywood celebrity house burned down. Some people's house, you know what I mean, was spared. They, you know what I mean, and like I said, they had this older man on CNN, man. His house was burned to the ground, man. And he was just angry, man. You got people that's angry, man. That some of these houses didn't get spared. Some of these houses didn't burn down. But this man was angry. This man was taking it out, man. And when it was interviewed, man, the man that was so blessed, man, and you know what I mean, and he prayed, and his house didn't get spared, man. But you know, when asked, you know what I mean, that this man's house wasn't spared, and this was his neighbor, and you see, this is why I say, man, when Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself," man. This dude, he didn't even know his neighbor. He didn't even know who his neighbor was. He didn't get a chance to meet his neighbor because he had so much hate so much hate that was built in this man. So much envy, so much jealousy and greed that was so built up in this man. This man was built with all type of hate. The people, you know what I mean, we look over there in Hollywood. Doing that Golden Globe rewards, man. Those people was mockers and haters of God. But you know, the funny thing is, you guys, I had got an invitation. You know what I mean? And this is why it's so important that you don't be partakers. You don't partake. You know, you don't partake of the world. That's why Revelation 18:4 says, "Come out of her, my people." You got to come out of her, man. You got to come out of her, man. You got to come out. See when we look at, you know what I mean, when it comes to hip hop culture is run by gay mafia. See, Fat Joe came out and said it's run by the gay mafias. And all these people represent that, man. You know what I mean? You know, people like Fat Joe, if you got long careers, if you look at some of these people that got their long careers, they still doing it, they still made it because they made it through the rituals, man, through the homosexual rituals, man. You know what I mean? All these people, when Diddy was throwing these wild freak out parties, all these people was attendants, man. Diddy was a higher man. He was a high rank, man. He was a higher man, man. Y'all got to pick the play, man. Diddy was a higher person. You know what I mean? And they know, man, you have to get to Diddy, man. People like Jim Jones, people like Fat Joe, people, you know what I mean? People like Meek Mills, people, you know what I mean? The whole diplomat, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They had to go to Diddy, man. Snoop, you know what I mean? All these people had to go to Diddy, man. Because you can't You can't be a gangster unless you go into them kind of acts, man. And those people wasn't willing to go into those kind of acts like Snoop Doggy Dogg. Like, come on, man. Like Eminem, they all represent homosexuals, man. You know what I mean? They all represent it, man. You know what I mean? You see how Pop went down, man. You see how Tupac went down because he exposed the gay mafias, man. They been trying to loop. If you notice, they were trying to loop Pop up into it, man. They were trying to put Pop into it, man. They were trying to lubricate Tupac, yes, man. Quincy Jones and them, they were trying to lubricate Tupac. They were trying to grape Tupac. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, man, some real shit, man. They didn't have Tupac. You know what I mean? He you know what I mean? He made in one of his music rap. He was in a toilet naked, man. Yes, man. They put this flame on you, man. Come on, man. You can't make this stuff up, man. Look at what happened to Nips, man. Nips on his way doing a documentary, man. He wasn't with all that stuff, man. He was a hardcore 60 Crip member, man. He wasn't with all that stuff, man. You know what I mean? He wasn't you know what I mean? He wasn't like Diddy, man. You know what I mean? But like I said, man. You know what I mean? This hip hop culture is not what y'all think it is, man. They represent a lot of these people represent this, man. They were that, man. That's why Jaguar Wright was like, man, a lot of these people living with HIV, man. They're not telling us this. They're not telling nobody this. Diddy's spreading it, man. And now Diddy's having the blues. He having the blues in there, man, because you can't eat. You ain't got the nutrition that you can eat like you was out here, man. You know what I mean? You ain't got nothing to contain your immune system, man. Because I'm saying, man, Diddy's immune system is getting weaker and weaker. He's not eating. He's afraid that they, you know what I mean, any meal that he eats, you know what I mean, in there, man, he's afraid, man, that they might poison him, man. Come on, man. I would too if I was a celebrity and I was a billionaire and you know what I mean, I was this big person. I would feel like that too. Any person should feel like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, he trying to go about getting nutrition, man. But they're like, man. You know where you in? You know where you at? Man, no, you know what I mean? That's because you was this and this and shit. That don't ride in here, man. You're not going to get all those privileges in here, special privileges, and you know what I mean? No, you're not getting that in here. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Like when you in there, man. Like, I mean, and outside, man, money could buy little things, man. Then he can have got some little things, but he still got to be careful. The guard can slip something in, man. I mean, come on, man. See what you being allegedly accused of, man. You don't have people look at you as this pedophile, man. You're a pedophile. You're a predator, man. People don't like those kinds. You know what I mean? People do anything to get rid of those kinds. They'll kill you in jail, man. If you was convicted as a sex predator, man, as this predator, man, they don't like that. Man. That's why he's getting the blues, man. That's why he's getting the blues in there, man. Because they don't like those kind. They don't like those kind, man. You know what I mean? They just don't like those kind, man. So let's go and see what she says, man. Because man, like I said, fam, we got a lot to cover.
Hit for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now remember, feds say no, not a suspect. That comes as not a suspect. But I can tell you this much to Robert Crispin, private investigator now at Crispin Special Investigations. But listen to this: former federal task force for the United States Department of Justice, DEA, Miami Field Division, former homicide and crimes against children investigator. Okay, Robert Crispin. I know the feds are saying, yeah, he's not a suspect. But there's a big problem when your name shows up 77 times in an official court proffer as ordering a murder hit. That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's a problem. But I will tell you from working cases you got to have corroborating evidence from something other than a statement from somebody. I am nearly positive that after that information was given out, that there some type of a controlled call attempted, some type of the investigation to tie the cell phones in together back on that night, something more has to be present or more tangible that we can touch to prove it other than somebody's word, especially if they have a criminal history. It's tough. You don't want to hear it. But unfortunately, he hasn't been arrested yet, which leads me to believe that they don't have enough. Trust me, as a Fed, if I had enough to arrest you, I didn't wait. I went out and I got you. And the Feds would love to tag an arrest of P. Diddy. Trust me, they would. This has just gone too long. They just don't have that one thread that they need. That's my opinion. That's why he's not in custody.
Yeah, I hear what Crispin is saying, Daryl Cohen. But remember, Daryl Cohen, before I prosecuted felonies in inner city Atlanta, I was a Fed. I was with the Feds for 3 years. You know, on one case alone, I had a whole room full of cardboard boxes of evidence, floor to ceiling. And they still didn't move on it, for Pete's sake. I mean, so they're so slow. It's like a Byzantine labyrinth. It's insane. So I don't know. I don't know if the Feds have enough or they don't have enough. But I can tell you this much. When your name pops up nearly 80 times connecting you to a hit on Tupac Shakur, you're up the creek without a paddle. I'm surprised this guy's still walking around.
I think, Nancy, they're waiting. The magic word here is YET. They don't have enough evidence yet in their view because the Feds, you were there. I haven't been a federal prosecutor, but I certainly have been in federal court enough. You know that when they get you, they've got you. You can't move left. You can't move right. You can't move up. You can't move down. There is.
Look, man, you hear what he said. When they send Homeland Security to raid his house, it was something serious. When they want to get you, they will get you. So in other words, when they got you, you can't go left or right, man. They got you. And when you've been denied your bail 3 different times, they got you. They got you in for some serious stuff, man. And that's I don't think that's what nobody knows. You know what I mean? I don't think Diddy knows how. You know what I mean? How he in, you know what I mean? How in deep trouble he is, man. And you know what I mean? His trial's coming within a few months, man. But look, man, look. If you really look at this play, look at the play, peep the play. There's many allegations coming up. There's lawsuits coming up. There's the 96 connection that he had in the death of Tupac. Oh, look, man, I'm not making this up. He's involved in the connection of the 96 death of Tupac, man. This is Diddy's done, man. He's done, man. Now tell your lawyer team is he's going to get you out this. See, I always told you guys, man, if there's a little paint, there's a little evidence, you can take that little paint and wipe over that paint. But if there's a amount of evidence that the state have and it's building up too, man, and you can't even get a speed trial if you wanted it. But all these evidence building up, man. All these they got overwhelming evidence, man. And it's building up. Diddy's case is building up. Before he started doing the jury selection and his trial started getting underway, man, it's gonna get crazy. In that courtroom, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy from outside. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure they're gonna televise it. It's gonna get crazy. Cause what Tony Buzzy did, he did an excellent job. Subpoenaed 300 witnesses already. They got 50 people already got their statements. It's probably going to be more because now you got new lawyers taking the case, and now they continue to get statements from witnesses and things like that. Man, it's going to get crazy, man. It's going to get crazy, man. And it's going to get crazy, man, because not only that they raided his cell and they got all these letters that Diddy wrote threatening Cassidy and threatening other people. It's over for him, man, because they're going to use that. They're going to use that into a state case, man. They're going to use his conversation that he used over the phones about, burning a pizza, man, and then the whole LA is on fire, man. They're going to put Diddy in a lot of connection, man. It's pretty much a wrap, man. It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap, man. And even if he tells, it's a wrap, man. He put himself in this position, man. And should no one feel sorry for him. He put himself in this position. No one should feel sorry.
There's no movement. They have got you every which way, and that's probably what they're waiting for. And I agree. They're looking for the murderer of Tupac, but more than that, they're looking for somebody called Puff Diddy. They want him, and they want him bad. He's been associated with far more crimes, and they've executed search warrants on the East Coast, the West Coast. They want him, and they want him badly. And then they've got the other videos of him being so kind. And I say that with all facetiousness. They're going to get him, and the word is yet. They will.
Well, you know what, Daryl? I'm not holding my breath. You do know Tupac Shakur was gunned down in 1996, and nothing has happened yet. So, okay, in the meantime, listen to this.
Dwayne Keefe D. Davis claims credit for Tupac's murder on BET and in his memoir. He says Puffy Combs wanted...
Okay, my computer for some reason keeps going out, but yeah, when it comes to Mr. Davis, man, Mr. Davis was a shot caller. He was in it too, just like Diddy, man. He wanted Tupac. Yeah, he wanted Tupac Shakur, you know what I mean? He was a shot caller, you know what I mean, other Southside Crips. You know what I mean? He wanted in on it. You can see on that picture, you can see from his body movement. So what's the first thing Diddy did, like, man, look, man, Diddy put off the hit, man, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like I said, man, people like Davis, man, you know what I mean? He got like I said, man, it makes sense because he got killers, like he got killers in his family, man. You know what I mean? He got his little nephew, man, like, you know what I mean, Landon Anderson, man. You know what I mean? He got the cousin, man. Like, man, I got a cousin that gang bang, man. You know what I mean? And see, yeah, that's why you gotta understand, man. When you're OG in the game, man, and you still consider affiliated, but you're not an active member, or you're not gonna be an active member to put in the work. He had a cousin Landon Anderson, man. You know what I mean? He put in the work. You know what I mean? So now Diddy was willing to, you know what I mean, pay someone millions of dollars to do the hit, man. You know, you getting paid millions of dollars, man. Someone give you $1 million, you would do anything for $1 million, man, right? That's a lot of money. Especially when you ain't got nothing going for yourself. That's a lot of money, man. You know what I mean? So for him to pay that hit, man, he coughed for $1 million, man. That's just a lot of money for a hit, man. But when you got the money like Diddy, man, it's nothing to him, man. That's what y'all got to realize. It's nothing to him, man, to put out that hit, man. Now, it makes sense now. Everything has come to light now. I always told y'all what comes to that darkness comes to that light now. It makes sense that Jay-Z and his lawyer team is taking the case. You know what I mean? Alex Sparrow is taking the case, man. You know what I mean? It's not gonna look good at the end of the day, man. Because he's gonna, Alex Sparrow is gonna go deep. He's gonna go deep on Diddy, man. it's too much. It's too much you can't do when you in there. You can make phone calls, but keep in mind, man. Keep in mind, man. I'm gonna tell you something right quick. When Diddy got bust from Country Band and they busted cell, he can't get no phone visits. That's how they playing now. Now they playing hardball. You ain't getting no phone visits. You ain't getting no letters because you don't realize y'all don't realize that what he did, man. They raided his cell, man. They raided this man's cell, man. You not now you're not getting the letters. You know what I mean? Now you're not getting the letters, man. You know what I mean? If they want to, man, he not gonna get no letters. He's not gonna get no phones. He's not gonna be able to write. He's not gonna be able to call. Come on, it's bro. They using this. The states they getting this and turn this to the state for the state to use for evidence, man. Y'all not paying attention, man. No, he's not, man. No, he's not, man. Quit saying that. That's sick to say, man. You know how sick that's to say this man is innocent, man. It's sick. It's sickening. It's sickening to say that, man. It's sickening to say that, man. Y'all, you see, only an idiot could say that, man. Come on, I know you're not an idiot, man. But for you to sit here and say he's innocent, man, it's sick, bro. It's sick, man. He's not going to get past all this stuff that he's being accused of, man. How you going to get past all this? He ain't going to get... They're about to use Cassidy. They about, you know what I mean? They about to bring in this Pop death. He's not finna get no chance to get out. I tell you, man, Tony Buzzy, man, you don't know who Tony Buzzy is? Tony Buzzy just sent up subpoenaed 300 witnesses. You got over 50 witnesses, over 50 victims is coming forward. As many people finna come forward, man. What Tony Buzzy did, Tony Buzzy hired powerhouse lawyers in this case, man. On Jay-Z and Diddy, man. He ain't hired powerhouses, man. Come on, man. Y'all not understanding, man, what he just did, man. He didn't watch a couple of YouTubers, man. He didn't watch Jasmine Wright. He didn't talk to Jad Wright. She didn't spill the beans, man. She didn't spill everything, man. Y'all not people to play, man. Now you can keep saying that. You can keep saying he's innocent. He's not innocent, bro. They want you to believe he's innocent, man. But they got 9 tapes. They got Diddy on a phone saying burn the pizza, man. Hollywood's burned it. Come on, that's if you read between the lines, man, to burn up Hollywood, burn up the evidence, they had tapes flowing. There was tapes flowing around. People had the tapes, man. Just think about it, man. The Hollywood elite celebrities, they had these tapes of Diddy, man. These tapes was flowing around, man. And what the best thing you can do is just, man, look, man, burn, get rid of everything, burn, burn the pizza. You know what I mean? Burn the pizza, get rid of everything. Come on, man. Y'all not people to play though. Oh yeah, I got a lot of views on that. On that video, but you know, like I said, y'all don't support the videos, and you know what I mean. YouTube algorithm is this, you know what I mean. You have to support the videos, but like let's get back to this, man. We got to get back into this, man. It was never looking good for Diddy and his team, man. It's not going to even look good for Jay-Z and his team, man. If Jay-Z don't pull no strings into this case, man, if you think that okay, Alex, you know what I mean, Alex Sparrow is just going to represent me, man, you're going to get you some deep lawyers, man, because what Tony Buzzy did, man, Tony Buzzy scored. He's scoring huge in these cases, man. You know he's not playing, man. He's not playing around, man. He's not playing around these cases, man. He's hiring the best team that can take on Jay-Z and Diddy, man. You know what I mean? And you have to spend some money, man. And he spent some money, man. He spent some money, man. These people represent Donald Trump in 2001, man. See. I knew Tony Buzzy was up to something, man. And y'all don't see it suspicious, man. Y'all don't find it suspicious where Donald Trump represent Buzzy Law Firm, man. Come on, man. Y'all don't find that suspicious, man. That should ring y'all a bell, right? Why they didn't get no petition, right? That should ring your bell, right? They got they got photos, man. Buzzy got photos. They got photos of him and Trump, man. Come on, man. That don't ring a bell. That don't ring a bell. I don't know what to say to y'all. Come on, man. It's not. Game over, man. It's not gonna look good for Diddy, Jay-Z either, man. It's not. They're gonna make you go in that pocket, man. They're gonna continue to have you go in that pocket. Jay-Z gonna, by the time all this is over, man, this for the sexual case with this minor, this 13-year-old, they're gonna make him go into his pockets, man. By then, man, he's gonna have all these legal fees and all, man. Come on, man. I'm telling you, man. You're playing with some powerful people, man. This case is not just gonna go away, man. Like a lot of people said, Jay-Z he's gonna get found. You know what I mean? Mostly gonna be dismissed. It's not easy, man. You know what I mean? How it sounds, man. It's not easy, man. It's not easy, man. And it's not gonna be easy for Diddy, man. I keep telling you, man. I keep telling you, who's taking these cases, man. Tony Buzz went out to hire new lawyers, new powerhouses, right? And Jay-Z team, Alex Spiro is going to take the case with Diddy and the 96 Pops murder. Come on, man. It's not like he's taking the RICO case. But look, man, Tony Buzzy got some lawyers probably in the Diddy's RICO case as well. I'm telling y'all, man. This game's over, man. I don't care how y'all look at it. The game been over. All the games in Hollywood that they've been playing, they've been doing is over. All those games, those sex parties over. All those parties, those games they've been playing. This game that the gay mafia's been playing, the elite, yes, the gatekeepers, it's over, man. It's over for them, man. Half of them living with AIDS, man. They're not telling the world, man. That's a big fashion. Everybody living with AIDS, man. They having all these orgies and sex, man. You don't find it suspicious? Why LA been burned down, man? Y'all don't find it suspicious? I tell you, it's going down, man. That Sodom and Gomorrah, them Stalamites, man. Them people going down, man. Them people going down, man. I won't be surprised Will Smith living with HIV, man. Come on, man. All of them, man. All of them is in that circle, man. All of them was in that circle, man. The game, yeah, man. All these people, man. I won't be surprised they're living with AIDS, man.
Knight and Tupac's heads after their diss track Hit 'Em Up. When Davis offers to carry out the hits, Combs agrees to pay him $1 million. According to Davis, Eric Zip Martin, a New York drug dealer, suggests they have the perfect opportunity to carry out Puffy's hit and even provides the gun. Davis, Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith stake out the club where Shakur is performing, but Tupac's a no-show and the Crips abandon the plan. Driving down the strip, they spot Knight and Tupac stopped in traffic. Brown flips a U-turn in their white Cadillac. Davis passes Anderson the gun, and Anderson leans over Smith to shoot Tupac.
Davis' public claims about Tupac's murder reinvigorate the case. Vegas police search Keefe D's home in Henderson, Nevada. Among items seized are computers, hard drives, and magazine articles about Tupac and his death. After a grand jury, Dwayne Davis is arrested for murder.
I can't believe this. Lauren Conlon, it took Keefe D claiming credit for Tupac's murder not only on BET, but in his memoirs. He wrote about it. It took that to reinvigorate, their words, not mine, the case. There's his book, Compton Street Legend, where he admits to his part in Tupac's murder. What, you have to go on BET and confess to murder before you can get arrested? Man, you cannot get arrested in that town.
Oh yeah, and just so you know, he was still bragging about it as he was being taken out in cuffs in 2023. But Nancy, I want to point something out. The fight at the MGM, that happened because allegedly Orlando Anderson stole a Death Row Records medallion. These were very important. There were bounties for these medallions. So they were getting revenge on Orlando Anderson. And also, it should be known that Keefe D is not actually in this video.
Put her up. Okay, let me understand what Lauren Collins just said. Now, Lauren Collins, O.J. Simpson, is a double killer. We all know that. But then, after he skated on those charges, he then goes and does an armed robbery and an aggravated assault with one of my old co-defendants that I put behind bars on trafficking drugs, Charles Ehrlich. They get together and go commit an armed robbery in Vegas over what they claim was sports paraphernalia souvenirs that really belonged to Simpson. And that was the justification. Okay, you're telling me, oh, well, this happened because Orlando had stolen a medallion? I don't care why it happened.
True, I want to clarify that though. I wanted to just put that out there. And also,
don't care.
The feud between Death Row Records and Bad Boy Records, this is also important. It's like the Bloods and the Crips here. These two record labels were at odds. They were hugely competitive. And in my opinion here, I mean, Diddy, you know, he had a lot to lose if Death Row Records did better than Bad Boy Records.
Second verse.
All right, guys, I want to end this live. But thank you guys for tuning in. Gotta get something to eat, man. All right, catch you on the next one.